What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 6 Centigrams Chapter 111, Flame Plate. Mega Mewtwo Evolution Stone. The Legend of the Creator God. Advertisement. Both Mewtwo's have actually escaped from the period of demonic terror. No longer take the clone or the clones so seriously. However, being recognized by others is an existence that deserves to live in this world. For Mewtwo, it's actually quite important. However, Mount Silver's Mewtwo already has an identity and a trainer who accompanies him. And the one at Qingqing Cliff hasn't done it yet. Mewtwo from Clear Cliff. Let's go see Xiaozhi after everything settles down. Open black lens bracket red. At Sabrina close black lens bracket open black lens bracket Sabrina. Close black lens bracket. After the inventory was over, he directly responded to the words Sabrina had sent to him before. When Sabrina posted this sentence before, she didn't mean to say it again. Was he beaten to a pulp by Mewtwo? Now Mewtwo is defeated by his Mega Charizard X. Naturally, it was Kai Hong's turn to fight back. The counterattack that leads to victory is the most advantageous counterattack. Sabrina was so angry that her lungs exploded when she saw Chi Hong's reply message. This guy. So annoying. Turn him into a doll. He must be turned into a doll. But that guy probably has Mewtwo in him. No matter how proud Sabrina is of her psychic, she can't say it's more fishy than Mewtwo. Damn. Kai Hong. Xiaozhi. How about I turn Xiaozhi into a doll? This is equivalent to turning Kai Hong into a doll. The genius idea of his psychic is revealed in Sabrina's little head. Since Chi Hong and Xiaozhi are in the same position. So the same goes for turning Xiaozhi into a doll, right? Xiaozhi, who was in Professor Oak's laboratory, couldn't help but feel a chill. He always felt like something dirty was staring at him. Super large inventory, the road to legend. The red inventory of the fighting man is completed. Close black lens bracket. The rewards. Flame Plate and Mega Mewtwo X Evolution Stones are now distributed to red. Please pay attention to check them. Close black lens bracket. Today's inventory ends here. There will be another super large inventory tomorrow, so stay tuned. Not long after, a series of words appeared on the Tiandao inventory screen. Today's inventory is actually only one game, however, this time of taking stock is already as long as the previous 2 or 3 games. So a stock taking is not something that cannot be accepted. The most important thing is that there will be another super large inventory tomorrow. Many people actually like this series very much, although they don't have as much fighting as the Gods series. However, there are also many thrilling adventures in the daily life described in this complete story series. It's also what everyone likes to see, compared with the inventory time seen by the normal public. Many elite champions, villains and high-level officials are more concerned about the rewards Chi Hong received. Flame Plate. No one knows what this is, but everyone knows about the Mega Mewtwo X Evolution Stone. The existence of the Mega Evolution Stone has spread throughout the streets in the past 2 days. As we all know, Mega Evolution requires 2 things, Evolution Stone and Key Stone. And the Evolution Stone obtained by Red is literally the Evolution Stone of Mewtwo. In other words, high-level legend, level 1 God Mewtwo, can also do Mega Evolution. Whoa sao. What the hell, Mewtwo is already a high-level legend, how can it still evolve? Turtle, if this were the evolution of Mega, how awesome would Mewtwo be? Mewtwo is already a high-level legend now. If he could really evolve into Mega, wouldn't it be like flying in the air every second? Once Mewtwo Mega evolves, coupled with the power of Crimson, I am afraid that all the legendary Pokémon in the world will not be able to defeat Mewtwo in a duel. The Mega Evolution of Advanced Legend, I'm asking you if you are afraid of it. The information that Mewtwo can also evolve to the next level has attracted the attention of the general public. This is not a normal Pokémon. This is a mythical beast. A level 1 mythical beast. The Mega Evolution of ordinary Pokémon is so powerful, but the Mega Evolution of a level 1 mythical beast is simply unimaginable. You Longdu. I'm a good boy. Mewtwo can also Mega Evolve? It's not such an outrageous method, right? Close black lens bracket. Diantha. I can't imagine how terrifying Mewtwo's power would be after Mega Evolution, close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Professor Bradano said before that Mega Evolution is an atavistic phenomenon that stimulates ancient genes in the body, which means. My guess is correct. Mewtwo did exist in previous periods, close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Mewtwo is not a Pokémon created by human power, but a Pokémon born naturally from the help of this world. This can explain why Mewtwo can Mega Evolve, close black lens bracket. The Evolution Stone rewarded by Tiandao inventory not only proves that Mewtwo can Mega Evolve. It also proves that Mewtwo is a Pokémon that existed in ancient times. After all, Mega Evolution is an atavism. If Mewtwo hadn't appeared in ancient times, how could Mewtwo have this power? Giovanni, who is on the rockets, is autistic. I originally thought that Mewtwo was a Pokémon that I created by myself and was comparable to a god. Unexpectedly, it turned out that this was just a Pokémon created by World Assist and Team Rocket. This was a huge blow to the heroic Giovanni. He was actually being manipulated by this world. Professor Baratano. Not only that, have you discovered that the reward mentioned in Tiandao's inventory just now is Mewtwo X Evolution Stone, close black lens bracket. Professor Baratano. Not long ago, with the help of Champion Diantha, I discovered Charizard's Mega Plan with 2 forms. In this case, will Mewtwo have other forms of Mega Evolution? Because I couldn't tell the news about Xiaozhi holding the Mega Charizard X Evolution Stone. So Professor Baratano attributed Charizard's 2 evolutionary forms to him and Diantha. Everyone was also shocked after seeing Professor Baratano's words. Advertisement 1 is that many people did not expect that Charizard would have 2 evolutionary forms. The other one is, Mewtwo actually has 2 evolved forms. Although the current research on Mega Evolution is still shallow. But the fact that a Pokémon can only have 1 Mega Evolution direction is finalized. As a result, today, it was revealed that 2 heavyweight biological fathers were revealed. 1 Mewtwo and 1 Charizard, both have 2 evolved forms. Mewtwo is something that no normal person will ever see. But Charmander, suddenly, the world begins a new wave. The Pikachu and Froakie wave has passed, it's Charmander time. Mount Silver Peak. A ray of light shines on Shihong. Mewtwo's eyes on the side were focused, and he stretched out his huge mental power, trying to stop that gorgeous light. However, the powerful mental power that had been invincible before. After touching that light, it disappears instantly like ice melting and snow melting. The brilliant light will be shrouded in red. The Pokémon released around Shihong stood up instantly and looked at Shihong worriedly. They didn't know what this light was. Mewtwo looked at it thoughtfully and then comforted the many Pokémon. Don't worry, if my guess is correct, this should be the reward for that inventory, and only that kind of existence can ignore my mental power. He is the top divine beast in the world. After being trained by Crimson Red, he is an extremely terrifying existence in advanced legends. People and things that can completely ignore his power. Except for Arceus, I'm afraid there is only the thing called Tiandao inventory that reflected him just now. The light quickly dissipated, red reappeared in front of many Pokémon. Facing their worried eyes, Shihong waved her hands and smiled. Show that you're okay. Then he looked at the 2 things that suddenly appeared in his hand. One of them is a brilliant gem. There is a blue-purple tangled gene chain in the gem. In the other hand is a red stone slab. In this ice and snow, Shihong, who was holding the slate in his hand, felt that he could no longer feel the coldness at all. It's even a little hot. These are the 2 props Mega Mewtwo X Evolution Stone and Flame Plate rewarded by Tiandao inventory. Others think Mewtwo's Evolution Stone is a unique treasure. Even Kai Hong thinks so, but the other thing is equally heavy. Flame Plate. That's one of the 18 stone slabs of Arceus. Who is Arceus? The god of creation. The creator of the world. He is also the world's mightiest Pokémon. In that world, Shihong also knew something about it. It's just that he has never collided head-on with the god of creation. Therefore, we only heard about the power of the creation god in legends. Now this flame plate, which was born out of the god of creation, what miraculous effects will it have? Cynthia. In fact, compared to Mewtwonite, the latter thing is a heavyweight item. Diantha. Oh, sister, do you know that flame plate? I have never heard of that prop at all. It sounds very ordinary, close black lens bracket. What do you want to say about the flaming slate, the blazing slate, the magma slate? These names sound very powerful. Diantha may also think that thing is very powerful. But how powerful can fireballs be? Cynthia. Flame plate is an exclusive item carried by Arceus, the god of creation. Yulongdu. Creation. Creation god. Is that thing the product of the creation god? Turtle, that's incredible. Professor Oak. I have also heard about Arceus. It is said in myths and legends that Arceus used 1,000 hands to create the universe and gave birth to 3 legendary Pokémon that control time, space and another world. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Professor Oak is really knowledgeable. Yes, in myths and legends, Arceus created the universe, and Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina are all Pokémon bred by Arceus. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Arceus' power surpasses all Pokémon in the world, including high-level legendary Pokémon. And it is recorded in mythology that 8 mysterious stone slabs. Each stone slab corresponds to the corresponding attribute. As long as Arceus holds the corresponding stone tablet, its corresponding attribute cannot cause harm to him. There are 18 types of attributes discovered in the world so far. There are 18 stone tablets held by Arceus. 0. Please give me flowers. In other words, all attributed Pokémon in the world cannot cause harm to Arceus. With this alone, Arceus is already invincible, not to mention that he himself has unparalleled power. Its exclusive skill, the Master of Punishment, is a magical skill that can destroy heaven and earth. Even if all the mythical beasts in the world add, it's probably not enough to fight him. Under Cynthia's explanation, everyone clearly understood the existence of Arceus. They didn't expect that such a Pokémon would exist in the world. Many villains even have evil intentions. If Arceus is conquered, Wouldn't it be easy to conquer the whole world? As for whether they can conquer Arceus, advertisement. It can only be said that if the villains had B numbers, they would not put their thoughts on high-level legendary Pokémon. After understanding the power of Arceus, new questions have arrived. Such a terrifying legendary Pokémon is even called the Pokémon that created the world. Why? His slate is given out as a reward. Moreover, that is Arceus' slate. It is no exaggeration to say that it is the most precious item in the world. Countless villains in the world probably want to get their hands on it. As long as a glimpse of the power of the Creator God is glimpsed inside, the world may be thrown into chaos. And many decent professors and researchers are actually very curious about Arceus' slate. What kind of power makes Arceus immune to all attribute attacks? However, this slate now exists in the Red Hand, who is Qihong. He became the champion in half a year, and defeated the high-level legendary warriors in more than half a year. I'm afraid there aren't many people in the entire Pokemon world who can compete with it. 0. Even if Dan Emperor's Charizard can become Super Giant and defeat the Red Mega Charizard. Who can solve the problem of Mewtwo, who is capable of Mega Evolution? This is an invincible figure, therefore, Tiandao Inventory changed its behavior of constantly concealing rewards. Those who have grown up brightly will announce the rewards. Because this reward cannot be taken away at all. If anyone has the ability to steal the Flame Plate from the Red Hand, then he doesn't need to find Arceus, he is already the strongest person in the world. Mount Silver Peak. Qihong looked at the Flame Plate in her hand. I didn't expect that the story of this slate is quite rich. He is a fighting man, not an archaeological man. Naturally, I am confused as to the usefulness of this thing. I just happened to go to see Xiaozhi tomorrow, and take a look at Professor Oak in this world. If it were him, he should be able to research something. As for the Mega Evolution Stone, how about Mewtwo? Can you resonate? I can evolve at any time, and I feel that my strength will be greatly increased after evolution. Mewtwo's voice rarely sounded like a jumping bird. What Cynthia said just now, and now this evolution stone. It seems that everyone is affirming that he should exist in this world as a normal. This has always been a knot in Mewtwo's mind. Even if he was subdued by Kai-Hong and followed Kai-Hong, it did not relieve the knot in his heart. But now, this knot seems to be untied. Qihong is so awesome, and he said he will come to see me tomorrow. I'm so looking forward to it. Xiaozhi is dancing in Professor Oak's backyard, looking at Kai-Hong's handsome appearance and explosive strength Charizard X. His heart was also surging. You know, Charizard X Evolution Stone Xiaozhi also has it. In other words, his Charizard will also evolve into that in the future. How can this make Xiaozhi not excited? Not only that, the fierce battle between Yuan Hong and Mewtwo also made Xiaozhi way excited. Tomorrow his counterpart from another world will come to find him. Isn't this going to be a fierce battle? Pikachu, Charizard, after Brother Qihong arrives tomorrow, let's challenge his Pikachu and Charizard. We want to prove to the world that we are not bad either. Pikachu Charizard. When I type this question mark. Why don't you listen to what you are saying? The red one who has arrived now has obviously experienced everything above. Tomorrow I will challenge the red Charizard and Pikachu. That is to say, but I think you have a problem. They have watched the entire journey of the Crimson Legendary Road here. Do you want them to challenge Chippy Chigwang? Please be a human being? Faced with Xiaozhi's encouragement, and what about the two of them? Although they have all received rewards from Tiandao Inventory, they are still far away from the elite level. 10 of them tied together can't beat him. This is not asking for advice, this is asking for abuse. It's not that I have a problem. What are you doing? What are your expressions? If Brother Qihong can do it, we can do it too. I believe in the bond between us. What Charizard and Pikachu do is, Red Pikachu can blast Zapdos. The Red Charizard can burn Mewtwo with Rage. Chapter 112. Red comes to Pallet Town. Becoming the strongest is what is lost. Advertisement faced with Xiaozhi's encouragement. What Charizard and Pikachu do is, Roar, Pika. Charizard lay directly on his side and fell asleep instantly. Pikachu didn't know when he took out a small quilt and fell asleep on the spot. The two Pokémon started swinging in an instant. Bond. What is that? Xiaozhi? Not familiar. Really unfamiliar. Ha ha ha. Xiaozhi, you really want to laugh me to death. Seeing Charizard and Pikachu's poor performance, Gary couldn't help laughing loudly. He didn't mean to look down on Charizard and Pikachu at all. After all, Xiaozhi might have to use all his strength to defeat these two great generals. How could he have the right to laugh at them both? Of course the person he was laughing at was Xiaozhi. What kind of repressive power does Qihong have in the video? What kind of power? Whether you, Xiaozhi, can defeat an elite Pokémon with all your strength now is unknown. How dare you touch Porcelain Red? How dare you? Even if Qihong is your peer, the growth of the two of you is completely unequal. Just like he and Qinglu's growth are not equal. Why are you laughing, Gary? How will you know if you don't try it? Ah, yes, yes, then you just wait until Qihong comes to educate you tomorrow. Delia on the side put her white fingers on her chin, with a thoughtful look on her face. If Qihong comes tomorrow, What delicious food should I make for him? After all, he is Xiaozhi from the parallel world, and he is also my child. And Professor Oak was thinking in his heart. I wonder if Qihong is willing to lend me the flame plate to look at. Charizard and Pikachu opened their eyes together while pretending to be asleep. They are not actually timid. Nowadays, this appearance is just a show effect. If Qihong is Xiaozhi from another world, then Kai Feng and Kai Pai are them from another world. Both Pokémon actually have a character that refuses to admit defeat. Especially Charizard, in the video, in order to enter Charizard Valley. Being able to stand in the cold water outside for a day, this shows your perseverance. So, they were actually moved by what Xiaozhi said. After Kai Hong comes tomorrow, they will experience for themselves the difference between them and Kai Pen Chippy. The end of the super large inventory, Parallel World's mightiest trainer, the arrival of Red Mewtwo, an advanced legendary Pokémon with unknown artificial genes. In the Pokémon world of O3, huge waves have been set off one after another. On the forum about Tiandao inventory, some people are already talking about who the world's mightiest is today. Before this, Alchemy Emperor among the 8 masters was known as the most powerful contender in the world. But after Crimson appeared, the situation was different. 10-year-old Kai Hong can still defeat the high legend. And now I don't know how old Qihong is. How powerful must she be? The 8 masters competition is not over yet. The 8 masters will start the battle of the top 4 on the next day. And the draw for the top 16 of the Indigo Plateau Conference will also begin. The world seems to be getting more lively the next morning. Not far from Pallet Town, a young man wearing a red hat and a red and black jacket with short sleeves walked slowly over. On his shoulder, a Pikachu with an unusually round face was looking at everything around him curiously. Is this Pallet Town? It feels similar to my hometown. Speaking of which, Mewtwo, are you leading the wrong way? Don't question me, my psychic is invincible. The one coming is none other than Qihong. After the inventory yesterday, Qihong confirmed Xiaozhi's address on the barrage list. Then he took a nap and let Mewtwo take him down the mountain. It's really convenient to have a psychic beast on you. Kai Hong doesn't even know where Pallet Town is. After all, some of the names in this world are different from his world. However, Qihong made a portion of Kanto region in Johto region. Then he asked Mewtwo to take him to the vicinity of Pallet Town. Unexpectedly, except for Pallet Town, the names of towns and gyms in other places. They are all surprisingly similar to him. It seemed like he hadn't seen those gym leaders for a long time. Especially Xiao Gang, who was almost a leader to him. If it weren't for Xiao Gang, he didn't even know how long it would take just to get started with Pokémon battles. Not to mention stimulating his own talent and winning the championship within half a year. What kind of person would Xiao Gang be in this world? Soon, Qihong came to Pallet Town, looking at the bustling crowd in the town. He felt like a world away. It seems that since he went to Mount Silver to practice, he doesn't know how to write the word lively. The only people who accompany him are the 6 Pokémon around him. Occasionally go back to Professor Oak to see the other Pokémon he has captured. External social interaction has become almost zero. As a result, he also gained the title of Mount Silver's autistic man from the outside world. Excuse me, where does Xiaozhi from Pallet Town live? Qihong casually asked a passerby, and after getting the direction, left straight away. Passers-by looked at Kai Hong's retreating back and Pikachu on his shoulders. Advertisement. There was doubt in my heart. Why'd I always feel like, where have I seen him? This familiar clothes. Familiar hat, familiar Pikachu. Xiaozhi. No. It's Red, the red one I just saw in yesterday's super large inventory. He didn't recognize Qihong just now. It's because there's a big difference between Qihong's appearance now and back then. Judging from Qihong's current appearance, she seems to be 17 or 18 years old. And the red one in the inventory is only 10 years old. If it weren't for these clothes that never change for 10,000 years and that very special Pikachu, I'm afraid passers-by may not recognize Kai Hong. Qihong is. By the way, yesterday he said he was going to find Xiaozhi. Hey, my memory is bad when I'm old. Legendary Red. Plus Xiaozhi, who has a bright future. What kind of chemical reaction will happen? Not long after, Qihong came to a house. Asking for directions along the way. This seems to be where Xiaozhi lives. Before Kai Hong knocks on the door, there was a burst of excited shouts from inside. Ah, Mr. Steven, get out of the way, he's about to be hit. Wow, Mr. Dandy's Charizard is too strong. Now it has defeated Mr. Steven's 2 Pokémon. It was a childish voice that I had never heard before. But Qihong could hear some familiarity from it. It seems, just like when he was a teenager normal. If nothing else, the person shouting should be Xiaozhi. Duo. There was a knock on the door. The suction cup devil in an apron waddled and ran to open the wooden door. What caught his eye was a tall young man. There seemed to be a vague sense of oppression exuding from the young man's body. Barry? Who is this? I've never seen him before. Suction Cup Golem. It's a very good Pokémon. The red hand gently patted the Suction Cup Golem's head. Then he walked in slowly. The suction cup golem that was killed by touching its head wiped its head with both hands. There is some aftertaste feeling. That person just now, even though he had this vague sense of oppression. But it gave him a feeling of wanting to be close. It seems like he has a natural affinity for Pokemon normal. Take off your shoes and walk into the house. The layout inside seems very ordinary, but there is a warmth in this ordinariness that ordinary people cannot feel. After Qihong walked in, she saw Xiaozhi sitting on the sofa. Xiaozhi is still holding Pikachu in his arms. One person and one mouse watched the battle on TV attentively. Occasionally he would scream. This scene. There seems to be a hallucination in the red eyes. Obviously this boy looks completely different from him, and his clothes are also different. But Qihong saw his shadow in the young man, that excited look, that passionate movement. It's so much like when he first came into contact with Pokemon. Since defeating all the invincible opponents in the world, except for Qinglu who can occasionally compete with them. No one can beat him anymore, so Crimson entered Mount Silver. On Mount Silver, he becomes stronger, but he also seemed to have lost something. After reading yesterday's inventory and what Xiaozhi looks like now, he knew what he had lost. That's the passion and love for Pokemon battles. The kind of nervous and exciting feeling during the battle. But everyone knows that lost things are not so easy to find. If you want to get it back, I guess the method lies with the boy on the sofa. Suddenly, Xiaozhi seemed to feel something. He and Pikachu turned their heads in unison. He found a young man looking at him quietly without making a sound. There's also a plump Pikachu on his shoulder. Brother Qihong, you are here. Instantly, Xiaozhi recognized him as Qihong. No matter how Qihong changes, it seems that Xiaozhi can recognize him at a glance. Because that is his self in the parallel world. Clefairy, Jeepy also said hello to Chippy. Chippy was not as arrogant as his senior, so he also smiled back. The two Pikachu landed together and communicated 10,000 times with their tails on the ground. Brother Qihong, why are you here so early? I thought you were coming in the afternoon. I just came here if I had nothing to do. What you're looking at now is. It's a competition for the 8th Master. Oh, by the way, Brother Qihong, you still don't know what the 8th Master is. The 8th Master is. Xiaozhi seems to have found a soulmate. Normal, the one who started chirping, explained the origin of the 8th Master to Qihong. He also told Qihong the reason for the two people fighting on the field now. They are Dandy, the number 1 among the 8 Masters, and Steven, the 3rd among the 8 Masters. Now Steven has lost 5 Pokemon, but Emperor Dan only lost 3 of them. Originally, the two sides were evenly matched in the early stage. But when Dandy took out Charizard for the 4th time, the situation took a turn for the worse in an instant. Danpeng is Dante's strongest Pokemon. Advertisement. The strength basically exceeds the standard of a normal champion. In addition, Steven is the champion of Steel-type specialization. He is tightly restrained by Fire-type Pokemon. Now Steven has knocked down 2 Pokemon in a row on Dan's spray. Finally, there is only 1 Metagross left. The balance of victory seems to have tilted towards Dan Emperor. 8th Master. It's interesting. Do you mind if I sit here and take a look? How could it be? I want to watch it with Brother Qihong. Xiaozhi excitedly made room for Qihong to sit down. There is actually a lot of age difference between the two. This is even the first time the two of them have met. However, unexpectedly, both parties were not unfamiliar with it. Maybe this is the favorability of peers. Xiaozhi, who is here? Delia's voice came from far away. She seemed to be drying her clothes outside. Brother Qihong is here, Crimson? Delia ran in surprise. The moment she saw Qihong, she seemed to see what her child would look like when she grew up. Then Delia shouted to Xiaozhi, "You kid, go get some fruit for someone. Guests are coming and you have to entertain them well." Berry. Before Xiaozhi could leave the sofa, Mr. Mime had already come to the hall carrying a plate of cut fruits. Like a waiter, Normal placed the fruit on the table. "Mr. Mime, you have already cut it. You are such a capable boy." Bari, what? I was about to cut it. Okay Xiaozhi, you are chatting with Qihong. Mom still has things to do. After giving instructions to Xiaozhi, Delia said to Qihong, "You should chat with Xiaozhi here first. Auntie is going to prepare lunch. You have to prepare some good food when you come today." "Thank you, Auntie." "You're welcome." Looking at Delia's retreating back, Qihong said with emotion. "Xiaozhi, you have a good mother." "Yes, of course, Mom is the best mother in the world." Watching Xiaozhi continue to watch TV after finishing speaking proudly. Qihong also sat down. "I thought to myself, if we go back to our original world, let's go to 090 to see my mother first. He has been cultivating at Mount Silver for a long time, but he hasn't seen his mother for a long time. When I go back to my original world, I must go back to see my mother first." The first game of the 8 Masters has come to the last minute. Steven's Metagross and Dandy's Charizard both double maximize. A trace of surprise flashed in his red eyes. He didn't understand the Dynamax at all. At first, his journey only stopped at Alola, and then he could go to Baiyan to practice cultivation. So he had never heard of anything like Dynamax. He didn't even know who Dan Emperor was. On the other hand, Dan Emperor's rival Steven knows it very well. I think Rival is a pretty good player, and the Mega Evolution Metagross is also somewhat capable. It's also a top level among champions. The two sides competed with two extremely powerful moves in succession. Everyone is injured. Now both sides only have the last giant move left. The giant Metagross is panting. The super giant Charizard, whose appearance has changed drastically, still seems to have some strength left. The last super move that Steven asked Metagross to use was Max Rockfall. If the opponent's Charizard fires a Super Flame, then the form is likely to be different. After all, this is 4 times more restraint. Once hit, he will fall. If nothing else, this is for Alchemy Emperor, who has never let Charizard lose his fighting ability. Definitely a huge morale blow. The added battle might still leave you with suspense. However, a giant barrier appears in front of Supergiant Charizard, perfectly blocking the Max Rockfall that looked like a hill. After the two sides shrunk, Charizard's final Fire Blast successfully defeated Metagross. After a battle, Kai Hong also understood some of the details of the Dynamax. First of all, the moves will change and their power seems to be improved. Then each move seems to come with some special effects. According to the commentator, the Max Quake issued by Charizard will increase special defense. The Max Strike played by Metagross will reduce the speed. As for more effects, he doesn't know. After all, Kai Hong has only seen the Dynamax thing once. Being able to get so much information from limited intelligence is worthy of the title of a fighter. This guy named Dandy is your #1 trainer. Yes, Mr. Dandy is amazing. I have a bit of an impression of him when taking stock of Mega Charizard vs. Mewtwo yesterday. Dante said that his Charizard Gigantamax can counter his Mega Charizard X. So Chi-Hong kept this name in her heart. Now it seems that after becoming Gigantamax, his Charizard has indeed reached that level. But that's about it. He is not who he was in the inventory now. It seems to have been more than 7 years since I conquered you, right? Are you using me as a unit of measurement of time? It's nothing, you're overly worried. Chapter 113. Ding. Your humanoid plugin, Red, has arrived. Advertisement. The first game of the semifinals ended with Dan Emperor winning. The second game started soon. This time it's a showdown between two female champions. Cynthia versus Diantha. As the only two female champions in Alliance, they are even champions with part-time jobs. Their talent and strength cannot be underestimated. The two sides engaged in a fierce battle. In terms of tactics and Pokémon strength, Cynthia is obviously a step up. So when the battle progressed, the goddess of victory was already smiling at Cynthia. Defeated Diantha's 5 with 3 Pokémon. Now there are 3 Cynthia left. These include Trump Card Earth Dragon, Lucario and Togekiss. On the other hand, Diantha only has 1 Gardevoir left. However, a scene that shocked the world came. I saw Diantha after releasing Gardevoir. With a loud shout, the bright light turned into a chain of light, linking her to Gardevoir. Gardevoir's appearance begins to change. As the light dissipated, a more majestic and solemn Super Queen appeared in front of everyone in the world. Mega evolves. Diantha actually has a Mega Evolution. Teacher Mi, who had played against Diantha before, couldn't help but wipe the sweat from his forehead in the audience. This woman actually hid something. I don't know when I got the Mega Evolution Stone and Key Stone. From the looks of it, it's definitely not something I just got. I guess I already had it from playing against him before. What a woman who can hide. After the Mega Evolution, Gardevoir's power has been greatly improved. Plus, Gardevoir is Diantha's trump card. Therefore, he defeated 2 Pokémon of Cynthia in a row. In the end, only the Earth Dragon Garchomp was left in Cynthia. And Diantha is Mega Gardevoir with more than half of her health remaining. Gardevoir's Fairy type counters Garchomp. However, Garchomp is Cynthia's trump card. As the second trump card of the 8 Masters. Under normal circumstances, it can compete with the second level god. It is even close to the level of the second level god. Even after Gardevoir Mega evolves, it will be weaker than it in terms of strength. And Gardevoir's physical strength has been exhausted a lot. Therefore, in the end, Mega Gardevoir also fell to Garchomp's crunch. At this point, the top 4 of the 8 Masters are over. Those who advance to the finals are Cynthia and Dandy. Tomorrow, the final showdown will begin. Let's see who is the Dan Emperor who secures his title as the world's mightiest king. Or will Cynthia counterattack and become the new king? What a pity. I feel like Miss Diantha was almost able to defeat a Mega Evolution is a very powerful move. 377. Xiaozhi is not on Diantha's side. The main thing is, the winner doesn't need the pity of others. If it was Cynthia who lost, Xiaozhi would also feel sorry for Cynthia. Facing Xiaozhi's statement, Chi-Hong shook her head. Gardevoir couldn't defeat Garchomp in the end. Not even if she Mega evolved. Diantha is slightly inferior to Cynthia in terms of tactics, and Garchomp is even stronger than Gardevoir. And Gardevoir also consumed a lot of energy in the first 2 battles. Unless I am the one standing on the stage now, the thief can't win at all. Chi-Hong is not proud, just stating the facts. If he stood on the stage and directed Gardevoir, the chance of winning would be at least 50%. It's not like Kaori has no chance of winning now. What Xiaozhi couldn't see, he could see at a glance. This is the distance between the eyes of the two people. After all, Kai Hong is now 18 years old. Is this like this? By the way, brother Qihong, you were so powerful when you were 10 years old. You must be even more powerful now. How about we have a battle? I also have Pikachu. Pikachu, who was lying lazily on the sofa, suddenly stood on his head. Why don't you listen to what you are saying now? If Pikachu was still a little unconvinced yesterday and wanted to prove himself. Now he has no intention of proving himself. The reason is that when we were exchanging power with Red Skin Tail just now, he felt the huge voltage as deep as the ocean normal. Come on. The combined power of 100 of them can't compare to the red Pikachu. Battle. No. That's called looking for abuse. However, facing Xiaozhi's proposal, Qihong rubbed her chin and nodded. Let me see how far you have grown now. Qihong is also very curious about Xiaozhi's current strength. After all, he had just come to this world, and Xiaozhi's name appeared frequently on the barrage list. But Qihong didn't know Xiaozhi very well. Judging from Xiaozhi's appearance, he must be over 10 years old. Come to think of it, there is an elite with similar strength. The two soon came to a duel with each other in an empty place outside. Xiaozhi naturally sent Pikachu, and Qihong also sent Pikachu to play. The two sides fought for less than a minute, and Xiaozhi's Pikachu was defeated. Then Xiaozhi put Charizard on the field, and Qihong also took out his own Charizard. The result was about the same. Within a minute or so, he was beaten to the ground. After the battle, Xiaozhi felt a little depressed at Fee. Although I had long expected that there would be a strength gap between the two. But I didn't expect the gap to be so big. I'm sorry, Charizard, Pikachu, I made you lose miserably. Xiaozhi carefully sprayed potion on the two Pokémon. Advertisement. Qihong's attacks were very measured, and they basically only caused some superficial injuries. Charizard recovers from injuries much faster than Pikachu. He has Rainbow Wing inside him after all. Pikapi. Both Pokémon comforted Xiaozhi that it was okay. Today's battle actually allowed them to see clearly how strong they were in the parallel world. They still need to work hard. It's this beating. It's better not to be beaten or not. No matter who has nothing to do, I want to find someone to torture me. Thank you all. No matter how bad they were before the battle, when it came time to fight, they didn't flinch at all. And he executed his command perfectly. These are his best friends. It's a pity. Not only is there a gap between Pokémon, but there is also a huge gap between trainers. So this defeat was also a miserable defeat. Charizard and Pikachu couldn't even touch a hair on Chibo Chippy. Qihong stepped forward. The surprise in my heart slowly calmed down. What is he surprised about? Of course I am surprised by Xiaozhi's strength. Weak. Too weak. It's not even a bit worse than when he first started traveling. Not to mention elite level, Xiaozhi's current level is. Even the gym at the back of his world was difficult to get past. Like Sabrina and Blaine. However, weakness comes to an end. Qihong still felt something in this battle. Xiaozhi's command was haphazard, while Kristoff's command was arbitrary. If it could really be used in combat, it would probably have unexpected effects. You can even defeat the opponent by leapfrogging. The reason why Xiaozhi lost so miserably this time was ultimately because the gap in Pokémon strength was too big. So his Kristoff-like ideas turned out to be a liability. Compared with him before, his strength is completely inferior, but his thinking is more flexible than him. There are good and bad things. Qihong has never seen Xiaozhi's inventory video. You can find it by searching online, and many people have recorded it. But how do the autistic people who live in MT Silver all year round know about the internet? So Qihong doesn't know what Xiaozhi's future will look like. However, it can be judged from just these two battles. Xiaozhi's achievements in the future will never be inferior to him. Materials that can be made, the future can be expected. This is Qihong's evaluation to Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi, does your house have a guest room? Ah, yes, brother Qihong. We still have a lot of rooms in our house. Why does brother Qihong ask such a question? Could it be? If you don't mind, can I stay at your house temporarily? As rent, I will let my Pokémon teach your Pokémon how to improve. In addition, I can also give you some tactical coaching. The implication is, I'm here to trick you. Hearing this, Xiaozhi was overjoyed. Of course, just wait and tell mom. Mom will definitely not refuse. Yesterday he also said that since brother Qihong is me in the parallel world, he is equivalent to her other son. Another son. The red heart was a little touched. Sure enough, the mother in this world is also a very good mother. There's still some time before lunch, let's go see Professor Oak, brother Qihong. Good. It just so happens that he also wants to see Professor Oak in this world, and green. Xiaozhi took Charizard back, who had almost recovered, and put Pikachu on his shoulders. Chatting with Qihong all the way, he basically told all the interesting things about his journey from the beginning to now. When I learned that Cerulean Hall owner Misty and Nibby Hall owner Xiao Gang were traveling with Xiaozhi. Qihong was also surprised. Did the self in this world actually drag the host along with him on a trip? Now Misty and Xiaogang are temporarily staying at a nearby Pokémon Center. You should have gone to Professor Oak's laboratory by now. After lunch, Xiaozhi and I will go to the Indigo Plateau Conference to register for the top 16. Indigo Plateau Conference. Qihong is a little unfamiliar with this name. That's right. You can only participate in the conference after collecting 8 badges. If you become a conference champion, you will be eligible to challenge the Central Master, and there may even be a champion, but we Kanto don't have a champion yet. Crimson. There are still many differences between this world and his world. If nothing else, in their world, as long as you collect 8 badges, you can directly challenge the Elite Four. This is true no matter which region you are in. I don't know if subsequent regions will be like this, but Kanto has designed it this way, so let's calculate it this way. And this world actually has to attend the Alliance Conference. Only after becoming a conference winner can you challenge the Elite Four. High emotional intelligence. The Elite Four in this world have relatively high gold content. Low EQ. The gold content of gyms in this world is too rubbish. And, there is no Alliance champion in Kanto region. Oh, their world seems to have been empty of champions for a long time before Qinglu came to power. Advertisement. That's okay, Qihong said suddenly. Since there is no champion in Kanto Alliance, Xiaozhi, you can try to become a champion. Champion. Ah, I'll be the champion. Xiaozhi looked confused. He hasn't even reached the top 16 yet, and he's already thinking about the championship. This is too fast. Of course I'm not going now. I still know how much your strength is, but, it should be about the same in 10 years, right? ... Are you kidding me? Become Alliance champion in 1 year. Brother. This is Alliance champion, not conference champion. If we can achieve the achievement of conference champion in 1 year, Xiaozhi is still confident. But becoming the Alliance champion in 1 year, isn't something on the same level at all. What? You don't believe me? Or don't you believe in yourself? ... Qihong patted Xiaozhi's head and said gently. You and I are the same existence, it's just that we are not in the same world. There is no reason why you can't do what I can do. You are weak now only because you have not fully stimulated your talent. Leave it to me to stimulate your talent. When you grow up, we'll have a fair fight. Hearing this, Xiaozhi's confused expression turned into determination. Whatever brother Kai Hong can do, he can do it too. Isn't he the Alliance champion this year? Go for it. Okay, just wait for me, brother Qihong. Pikachu. On this unremarkable road, the 2 future top world champions made a fighting agreement. As for when we can fight an evenly matched battle with dignity and dignity, it depends on how fast Xiaozhi grows. Soon, the 2 came to the door of Professor Oak's laboratory. At the door, a man and a woman were standing there chatting. Stephanie was holding a small eggshell Pokémon in her hand. Lucky Pokémon. Togepi. Naturally, those at the door were Misty and Xiaogang. They originally made an appointment with Xiaozhi to meet at the door of Professor Oak laboratory at 11 o'clock. As a result, Xiaozhi hasn't come yet. Misty is ready to explode. As a result, I saw the 2 people walking towards me. Then, Misty stopped talking with Xiaogang and came to Xiaozhi with great momentum. However, the words he was about to say in anger were stuck in his throat. Why? There are 2 Xiaozhi. No. No Xiaozhi, are you? Qihong. When Misty saw Xiaozhi and Qihong, she seemed to have a vision in her mind. They were obviously 2 different people, but she recognized them as the same person. Then Misty realized that the taller man was the legend from yesterday's inventory. The one who fights. Red. Cerulean Gym leader Misty. This should be our first meeting. Looking at Misty who was a little short in front of him. Qihong felt a little emotional in her heart. This is Misty when she was young. When he first challenged the gym, Misty was 15 or 16 years old. No wonder he traveled with Misty in this world, they turned out to be the same age. Misty in the origin world is larger and looks much more mature. Mr. Qihong, why did you come here so early? And you were with Xiaozhi. Xiaogang also recognized Qihong and asked with some doubts. Don't be so polite, just call me Qihong. You are the owner of Xiaogang Hall, right? You look as stable as you in our world. Misty and Xiaozhi's lips twitched slightly. Haha, just as stable. That's because you didn't see what he looked like when his South X drive lasted. This morning Qihong explained to Misty and Xiaogang why he came with Xiaozhi. Only then did the 2 of them realize that Xiaozhi and Qihong had already fought against each other. I believe this thing can be exchanged for Xiaozhi soon. He looked back subconsciously, and a tall figure caught his eye. The 2 of them looked at Xiaozhi with a strange look. It's true that newborn calves are not afraid of tigers. But Xiaozhi launched a challenge to Qihong without fear. Xiaozhi, no, is it Qihong? Looking at Professor Oak who is almost the same as his own world. Yes, Professor Oak of this world, this is our first meeting. At this time, Professor Oak was observing the branches of the world tree with a microscope. From this point of view, Xiaozhi is already much better than normal people. And they were fighting two of Red's strongest Pokémon. During this time, he has made considerable progress with these branches. In terms of courage, Professor Oak, who was focused on research, heard the footsteps behind him. Can't win at all. After reading yesterday's inventory, most people. Shihong couldn't help but feel a little intimacy in her heart. After a few people chatted for a while, they entered Professor Oak's laboratory. I guess I lost the desire to fight after seeing Shihong. Chapter 144. Super Large Inventory, The Legend of the Rainbow Hero. Advertisement. Kai Hong and Professor Oak had a good conversation when they met for the first time. The Xiaozhi trio suddenly became outsiders. Intel. Grandpa, I'm going to draw lots this afternoon. Where is the Pokémon I asked you to help me recover? This lazy voice with indescribable pride made Kai Hong stunned. Then I looked back and saw a spiky-headed boy slowly walking into the laboratory with Yan in his name. Green. Shihong shouted in shock, then suddenly realized. This is not Qinglu, this should be a person named Gary who is the same as Qinglu in this world. What Qinglu? My name is Gary. That guy Qinglu. I am, You are, Red. Halfway through Gary's words, he suddenly saw the person in front of him clearly. Although his appearance has changed a lot and he has grown a lot taller. But isn't that the legendary figure on yesterday's count, Shihong? How did he end up in Professor Oak's laboratory? Oh, by the way, yesterday he said he was coming to see Xiaozhi. First meeting. Gary, I'm sorry, I recognized the wrong person. What the hell, Brother Red thinks I'm green. Doesn't this mean that my level is about the same as Green's? Xiaozhi couldn't help but get goosebumps all over his body when he listened to Gary's flattering words. Is this Gary? Gary has always acted like the boss. When have you ever spoken to someone in this tone? You want to see me for something, right? The keen Shihong immediately sensed Gary's intention. The proud tone at the beginning was not fake. On the contrary, the flattering words now. As soon as I heard them, I knew they couldn't be more fake. Hey, Brother Shihong is so good at knowing things. That's right. I want to ask, how can you activate that green breeder power? Gary reveals his true intentions. Kai Hong said before that he and Qing Green can become champion trainers in a short time. In addition to their hard training, it is also related to their own talents. What Kai Hong possesses is the talent of a fighting man. And Green is the talent of those who have breeder. The smart Gary immediately figured out that the talent of being popular is the same as Xiaozhi's talent of bursting out from time to time. In this case, Qinglu has the talent, he should also have it. That's why he talks to Shihong in a flattering tone. The reason is to get a way to stimulate talent. Well, you have to ask Qinglu. I don't know what method he used to inspire it. Brother Shihong, how did you activate it? Fight, keep fighting, and connect with your Pokémon, be friendly and loving to them, that's how it should be. Shihong said with some uncertainty. Is there any fixed method for stimulating this kind of talent? In short, it's just one sentence. Come by feel. Regarding Xiaozhi's help, he just released his own Pokémon to sparring with him. He also taught Xiaozhi some fighting methods and tactics. How did Qinglu grow? How did he know? He is Qinglu's rival and friend, but he is not Qinglu himself. He doesn't even know how to activate his fighting talent. In this case, anyway, I'd like to thank Brother Shihong and play 2 games with me when you have time. Gary was a little disappointed, but he was not discouraged either. The talent is here, it will not run away, but when can it be fully stimulated? It depends on himself. Regarding why Gary calls Red brother, but calls Qinglu by his first name, it's because Red's battle has been recognized by him, and Qinglu is his self in another world, called brother. Despite the awkwardness, Gary would not give in to his other self. Closing parenthesis. In the final analysis, he still lacks education. If there is a chance, Qinglu will educate him, laughs. Battle. I can play 2 battles with you right now. I just finished fighting Xiaozhi and haven't warmed up yet. Forehead. Gary lives in Bengbu, he just wants to be polite. Why did they really fight? He is not Xiaozhi's stupid young man. I became a first-level master at the age of 10. It seems like at least 5 or 6 years have passed now, right? He is fighting this losing battle because he has a brain problem. But, Xiaozhi has already beaten him, how could he lag behind Xiaozhi? So Gary gritted his teeth and said harshly. Come on. 5 minutes later, as Charizard's flamethrower fired, Gary's final Blastoise also fell. Complete defeat. He was just like Xiaozhi during the whole process, not even touching a finger of the red Pokémon. The difference in strength is too far. But there is nothing we can do about it. Although they are the favored sons of heaven. Shihong is now the favored son of heaven in his entirety. Of course there is no way to compare. After defeating Gary, Shihong also had a rough idea of Gary's current strength. Weaker than Xiaozhi, but not much. It's like Xiaozhi Pikachu plus Charizard beating Gary 5 times. It seems that in this world, not only he is weak, Qinglu is also weak. And in this world, he is still the green one. Not bad. Advertisement. If Xiaozhi had not received the reward, neither Charizard, who had not practiced training, nor Pikachu, who had not grown up, could beat Gary. His overall strength was several levels lower than Gary's. Silver Conference could win because Charizard had sea blood. Gary quickly recovered from the blow. After all, the person who defeated him was red. That Charizard can even fight against high-level legends. It's natural to lose. If this kind of battle can undermine his confidence, then he might as well stop being a trainer in the future. After a friendly battle with Gary, Qihong and Xiaozhi saw that it was already early. So Xiaozhi's trio plus Qihong went back to Xiaozhi's home to prepare for dinner. Before leaving, Kai Hong handed the flame plate to Professor Oak. This is not what Professor Oak requested, but Qihong wanted Professor Oak to see it. How can this stone slab inspire his power? After getting it, he asked Charizard to slack off for a while. In addition to increasing the power of fire by about 20%. It's of no use at all. The tablet of the god of creation should have more than this effect. Professor Oak was naturally ecstatic about this. I haven't finished researching the branches of the world tree yet, and now I have another legendary item to research. For him, a research professor, it was like pie in the sky. After everyone came to Xiaozhi's Solacean to eat and drink, they were ready to go to the Indigo Plateau Conference venue to draw lots. Although Pallet Town is not far from the Indigo Plateau Conference, but it still takes an hour to travel. Qihong was also a little curious about the Indigo Plateau Conference, so she simply followed it. Many people were greeting Xiaozhi and others along the way. After all, Xiaozhi is now a world-famous celebrity. After arriving at the lottery location, Xiaozhi also met a young man he had just met not long ago, Richie. A thoughtful look flashed in Red's eyes after seeing Richie. This boy named Richie seems a bit similar to Xiaozhi. The draw for the top 16 of the Indigo Plateau Conference is not done electronically. Instead, hang Magikarp in a small pool. Magikarp will have numbers corresponding to the combat team on his body. Needless to say, Alliance still has a lot of bells and whistles. After a lot of fiddling, Xiaozhi successfully pulled out a Magikarp with the word A3 engraved on it. Immediately, Xiaozhi's rival of the top 16, Richie, appeared on the big screen. Is it really Richie? It's indeed Xiaozhi. The two already knew that they would become each other's rival. It seems that even if the future changes, their destined duel will not change. I won't hold back, Richie. I wish I could have wished for it. Registration at the entrance of the venue. The Rockets trio were holding newspapers in their hands, quietly observing the movements of Xiaozhi and others. It seems like there's another person beside little Guido, meow. He looks like an adult. Why does that costume look so familiar? No matter who he is. Anyone who dares to hinder our capture of Pikachu will be killed by me. James is not as reckless as Jesse. Looking at the red dress, he felt like he had seen it somewhere before. When the red Pikachu's face turned to this side, James looked shocked and quickly pulled up the newspaper. What's wrong, James? What did you see? That person has a round-faced Pikachu. A round face. And he is wearing a red and black jacket and a red and white hat. He is red. Red. What meow? Why did Kai Hong come here? Qihong. Who is it? Jessie's memory will only be used for things she cares about. As long as it's something she doesn't care about, she will forget it even if it happened yesterday. Idiot, it's the kid who defeated 3 magical birds yesterday and then made Charizard evolve to the next level, meow. What? Jessie quickly took a second look, and then retorted angrily. Don't try to lie to me. That kid is 10 years old at best. The man next to the kid's head looks almost 16 or 17 years old. Do you think I'm a fool? Hearing this, Meowth and James looked at Jessie like fools. If you say something like this, doesn't it prove that you are a fool? How could others stay at 10 years old? Is there a 10-year-old trainer in the world who has 20 years of travel experience? Simply, James and Meowth simply stopped arguing with Jessie and started conspiring loudly. With that red guy here, it will be difficult for us to catch the little devil Pikachu, NYA. Yeah, we have to find a way to lure him away. Pick up. What? Who do you want to lure away, meow? Of course. Halfway through Meowth's words, he suddenly felt something was wrong. Who was the person who asked just now? The two of them and the cat looked to the side and found a round-faced Pikachu looking at them curiously. Why is red Pikachu here? Since Pikachu is here, could it be said? The three of them slowly put down the newspaper. They found that Xiaozhi and others they had just monitored had appeared in front of them at some point. Qihong pointed to the trio with some confusion and asked Xiaozhi. Who are these two people? And how can this Meowth talk? They are from Team Rocket, brother Qihong. These 3 guys have been staring at my Pikachu. They want to snatch him away. Oh, Team Rocket, advertisement. He raised a red brow. In his world, Team Rocket no longer exists. As for the reason, yesterday's inventory has been played. In this world without him, it seems that Team Rocket is still alive and well. Now that it's been discovered, then we won't hide it anymore. 4. Line omitted. That's it, meow, Crimson. Forgive him for his lack of experience, this is the first time he has seen such a performance with its own BGM and various action lines. What is he going to do now? Applaud them. According to plan, snatch Pikachu. Don't even think about it. Pikachu Thunderbolt. Meowth smiled confidently and was about to take something out from behind, but his smile suddenly froze. Oops, meow. We are here to observe the little ghost head this time, and we have no plans to do anything, meow. We didn't bring any props to capture Pikachu. Wouldn't that be? The two of them looked at the golden light that was getting closer, with careful expressions on their faces. Boom. The powerful thunderbolt directly hit three people. And there was a huge explosion that whirlwinded the three of them. What a disgusting feeling. The trio turned into stars and disappeared into the sky. Crimson. Would anything happen to them? Misty waved her hand and responded. Don't worry, Brother Chihong, they have been beaten away like this at least 50 times. If something happened, they wouldn't continue to pester us now. Crimson. I understand, those three guys are not normal people either. I was hit by such a powerful thunderbolt and flew so high, but I was still fine. And, it's still 50 times over. What kind of devilish physique is this? Xinglu was almost cold when he was pressed by Blastoise. If he could experience the treatment of the three people just now. I'm afraid the grass on the grave is already 3 feet tall. Let's go, Brother Chihong. Let's go back and continue the special training. I will never lose to Richie tomorrow. Again, has Xiaozhi lost to that boy before? Although Xiaozhi is not as good as he was back then, he should still be quite powerful. So that boy is more powerful. Chihong, who was confused, followed Xiaozhi and others as they walked slowly towards Pallet Town. Dong Yao, I am Dong Guai, please answer me when you receive it. Quote. Bruno, are you crazy? Ahem, didn't I watch a movie recently and thought it was quite interesting? So, why are you calling me? Something happened to Xiaozhi. Lorelei, who was at home, said angrily to Bruno. Their Elite Four were ordered by Alliance to protect Xiaozhi's safety. Bruno has been on duty for the past 2 days, but this guy didn't know what he saw and spoke strangely. Something really happened. What? How do you protect people? Where is Xiaozhi now? Listen to me, Xiaozhi is fine, it's just, there's a big shot next to him. Red. 1.7. How do you know? With this IQ, stop being an Elite Four and go home and farm. Huh, now that Chihong has come to Xiaozhi, your mission is over. Just go train yourself and die. Snap. With that said, Lorelei hung up the phone directly. She was afraid that her IQ would be lowered if she communicated with Bruno for a long time. Having said that, since Xiaozhi has Chihong by his side, Alliance's alert can basically be lifted. Speaking of bodyguards, what bodyguard can be compared to a fighting person? Red. When Chihong said she was coming to see Xiaozhi yesterday, Alliance was so happy. Turtle, the bodyguards who came to your door. With Chihong here, who can touch a hair on Xiaozhi? There is a high-level legend in the superpower system on Kai Hong's body, Mewtwo. You can't even try to hide the movement for miles around from him. If Team Rocket and other villain organizations want to take action against Xiaozhi, it depends on whether they are tough enough. In addition to Alliance, Giovanni naturally also received the news of Crimson's arrival. After seeing Kai Hong's terrifying fighting power, Giovanni had no desire to take action at all. Because, the intelligence organization said that it was probably the 18-year-old Chihong. MLGB, 10-year-old Crimson violently beats up the high-level legend Mewtwo. 18-year-old him. Whoever goes and who dies, okay. We can only wait and see what happens. The afternoon passed quickly. During this period, Chihong was teaching Xiaozhi the knowledge of fighting. Xiaozhi's Pokémon is trained by his Pokémon. Any exercise equipment you need can be purchased at Tiandao store. It was also Kai Hong's first time to see the magic of Tiandao store, and she couldn't help but click her tongue in surprise. The time has come to 5 o'clock, the new inventory has begun. A huge screen appeared, and the title of this inventory also appeared on it. Super Large Inventory, The Legend of the Rainbow Hero. Chapter 115. Differences in the World Line. The parallel world is also a mega real rookie. Advertisement. The super large scale inventory is about to begin. This inventory still does not participate in the competition, and those who make the list will receive rewards. Close black lens bracket. This inventory has a question and answer mode, so please be prepared. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. A new legend begins. Close black lens bracket. The words on the screen slowly disappeared. The video is also officially played. Xiaozhi, Misty and others are still watching the impact at Professor Oak's laboratory. The difference from yesterday is that there is one more person here today, Chihong. This is Kai Hong's second time watching the inventory video. The protagonist before was himself, and it was something he had experienced. In addition to feeling magical. I didn't think there was any unexpected move. In the eyes of others, he became the champion in 2 months, disbanded the Rockets in 1 sentence, conquered the 3 divine birds, etc. They are all very surprising and shocking things. But that was all Kai Hong had experienced, and she just watched it again. Now, what kind of impression will this new inventory give him? At the beginning of the picture, a young man wearing black clothes was waving his arms excitedly. The computer in front of him was playing a Pokémon lead game. After seeing the person in the image clearly, Shihong couldn't help but be startled. Isn't this Xiaozhi? It's Xiaozhi's turn to take stock. Guigi, it's brother Xiaozhi again. After all, Xiaozhi is included in every game except Kai Hong's counting game. Don't be embarrassed. Aren't Shihong and Xiaozhi a community? Shihong is also equivalent to Xiaozhi. Rounding off, Xiaozhi seems to have never fallen off the list once. Could it be that Xiaozhi is the protagonist of the world? The appearance of Xiaozhi on the screen aroused heated discussion among everyone. So far, this is the 10th time that Xiaozhi has been on the inventory list. There are only 11 times in total on the inventory list. The only time that was not included in the inventory was that one, and the one that was included was Xiaozhi's parallel world community. What kind of protagonist treatment is this? Cynthia. Hero of the rainbow. Could it be that? Xiaozhi, has he seen Ho-Oh? Close black lens bracket. Wallace. Speaking of which, Xiaozhi seemed to have obtained a natal feather of Ho-Oh before. What kind of mythical beast is this? Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. That is a high-level legendary Pokémon from the Johto region. It is said to have the power to resurrect the dead. However, due to some things, it has not appeared in front of people for a long time. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia, who has a good understanding of mythology, and Professor Oak, a Pokémon researcher, naturally know Ho-Oh well 03. But Ho-Oh has not appeared in human sight for hundreds of years. In addition to Xiaozhi getting a hair as a reward for taking inventory. Little information about Ho-Oh has appeared in the world. He was even said to be some kind of rainbow hero. Professor Oak fell into deep thought after explaining. Xiaozhi seems, he said on the first day of the trip that he saw Ho-Oh. But that sentence was regarded as a joke by Professor Oak. How could someone meet a mythical beast that is said to be rare in hundreds of years on the first day of traveling? Now it seems to be true. Image continues. After Xiaozhi watched TV for a while, Delia came in and scolded him. Because he will be 10 years old tomorrow and has to collect Pokémon. If I rest at this point, I might be late tomorrow. Seeing this, the audience reacted. This is the story of Xiaozhi at the beginning. Will Hero of the Rainbow go back to this time? Under Delia's scolding, Xiaozhi went to bed obediently and went to rest. Its trajectory is similar to before. Overslept, missed the Gosanjia, got Pikachu, and started traveling. At the beginning of the journey, it was still the familiar Spearow, still the familiar Pursuit. Still the familiar one. Mega is really a rookie. Everyone looked at Xiaozhi going up to the sky and into the earth, swimming in the river, and still couldn't help but sigh. Mega Rookie really deserves its reputation. Later, Xiaozhi's famous scene was played again. I am the one who wants to become a Pokémon master. Every time I hear this passage, I can't help but get excited. Then Pikachu uses the power of thunder to sweep away everything. All Spearows were killed instantly. Up to this point, Kai Hong was actually a little moved. Unlike others, this is the first time Shihong has seen the inventory about Xiaozhi. This also allowed him to get to know Xiaozhi for the first time. The reason why I was so friendly to Xiaozhi before was because I had a natural liking for him. Also because I need to get Xiaozhi up quickly so that I can fight him and send him back to his original world. And now, even without the above factors, Shihong will still cultivate Xiaozhi well. Because he is worth it. Xiaozhi's love for Pokémon even makes Shihong feel a little ashamed. At least if he encountered such a situation on the first day, he might just run away. Of course, now he will definitely not leave any of his partners behind. Moreover, the potential of that Pikachu is higher than Kai Hong imagined. I'm afraid that Pikachu's potential is even greater than his round-faced Pikachu. By the way, why isn't I on the screen? Advertisement. Misty was a little confused. During the first inventory, there was clearly a scene where Xiaozhi took her bicycle. Why isn't it available this time? And I didn't even see Xiaozhi riding a bicycle during the whole journey. I don't know, maybe the scene was skipped. Look. It was at this time that I met Ho-Oh. In the image, under Pikachu's tyrannical thunder of heaven and earth, all the dark clouds disappeared. It reveals the soaring in the sky that is burning like a flame, and the beautiful sunset that is about to set. At this moment, Xiaozhi seemed to feel something. He looked up and saw a giant bird shining with iridescent light, spreading its wings and flying. This is a Pokémon that looks a bit like a peacock. Most of its feathers are gold and red, and its tail feathers are yellow. The feathers on the dark side of the body are white, and there is a yellow crest on the head. Its body is shining with bright colorful lights. Then, Xiaozhi felt that Pokémon seemed to glance at him. Then it disappeared from his sight at lightning speed. Just as Xiaozhi was stunned on the spot, a beautiful feather shining with colorful light slowly fell down. Xiaozhi subconsciously stretched out his palm, and the feather fell on his hand impartially. When Xiaozhi held the feather, the colorful light on the feather became even brighter. What's this? Pikachu. After a brief period of doubt, Xiaozhi put Feather's question behind him. Then, he looked at the rainbow that appeared in the sky and said to Pikachu. Pikachu, that looks like a very strong Pokémon. Pika, one day, we are going to meet him. Pikachu. In this way, the relationship between Xiaozhi and Ho-Oh was officially formed. The image slowly turns dark at this point. Familiar viewers will naturally know that. This is not the end, but a new beginning is coming. Professor Oak's laboratory backyard. Xiaozhi was smiling awkwardly in response to Delia's scolding. This is the second time Delia has seen him go through such an almost desperate scene. Quote. You don't even know how worried I was when I first saw you facing Spearow. I felt like I almost lost you, you know, Xiaozhi. I know, Mom, I'm fine. Xiaozhi said with some lack of confidence. Xiaozhi, did you get the rainbow wing from the beginning? Professor Oak asked Xiaozhi very surprised. Damn it, if you got the rainbow wing in the first place, just show it to me. Show it to me and I'll believe you've met Ho-Oh. No, Professor Oak, the me on the screen seems a little different from what I experienced at the beginning. In the beginning, Ho-Oh didn't give me feathers, but I did see him. Xiaozhi denied that he got the rainbow wing. He did not get the beautiful feathers. Professor Oak was stunned for a moment after hearing this, and a look of thought appeared in his eyes. Xiaozhi would not lie to him about this kind of thing. After all, the branches of the world tree have been studied by him. Still missing that rainbow wing. If that's the case, then what's going on with the images on the inventory? After surviving the disaster, Xiaozhi continued his journey. However, as Xiaozhi traveled, many people felt something was wrong. Xiaozhi conquered Pidgeotto and Caterpie in Viridian Forest, and then defeated Xiaogang. Then came to Vermilion City and defeated Ma Zishi from the Vermilion Gym. The third gym that followed was the Rainbow Gym. Ma Zishi. That's not right. When that little guy came to challenge me, he already had 2 badges. Close black lens bracket. Erica. I remember that when Xiaozhi challenged me, I already had 4 badges. Xiaogang. And I didn't go on a trip with Xiaozhi. Open black lens bracket Misty. Xiaozhi didn't even come to challenge Cerulean Gym. Why is this? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Jessie. The most important thing is, where did we go? How could we let go of the little devil Pikachu? Close black lens bracket. Misty, Xiaogang, and the Rockets trio. It can be said that these people traveled with Xiaozhi from beginning to end in Kanto. It can be said that Xiaozhi's journey along the way is very clear. What's going on with this completely different journey now? And the most important thing is, although Xiaozhi has conquered Pidgeotto, Caterpie, Bulbasaur and other Pokémon that belong to him. But he failed to conquer the most crucial one, which was also his trump card Pokémon. Charmander. The scene of rescuing Charmander in the heavy rain is still vivid in my mind. Now, where's Charmander? Where did such a big Charmander go? Cynthia. I guess, this is a divergence of world lines. Steven. World line. What world line? The theory of a parallel world is enough, why is there any world line? Cynthia. The so-called world line and parallel world are actually similar things. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. For example, in a battle, you are faced with 2 choices, one is to release water-type Pokémon, and the other is to release steel-type Pokémon. Both choices will have different consequences. This is the world differences in lines. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. The difference between Xiaozhi on the screen and before is that, he did not meet the Cerulean owner Misty. He also did not meet Team Rocket. So, this is Xiaozhi's life in another world line. It can also be regarded as a parallel world. Treat it. Advertisement. After Cynthia's explanation, everyone understood. In other words, this is Xiaozhi not meeting Misty, Team Rocket and others. The Xiaozhi story. How will Xiaozhi grow in this story? In fact, Misty Xiaogang already noticed something when he saw this. Xiaozhi in the video is making great progress. Its progress speed is no less than that of the original Red. Could it be that Xiaozhi can truly unleash his potential after leaving them? In the image, Xiaozhi successfully defeated the 3rd gym, Rainbow Gym, and got the Rainbow Badge. Then he went to the nearest Pokémon Center to contact Delia and told Delia about his current situation. Immediately afterwards, Entei appears. The legendary 3 holy beasts Entei appeared in a forest. After getting the news, Xiaozhi quickly hung up the phone and ran to find Entei. Entei did not cover his whereabouts, and was found by Xiaozhi after a while. However, in addition to Xiaozhi, many trainers also came to Entei. Among them, there was a young man with a green mushroom head and dressed in green clothes. Beside him is a Lucario. This is an extremely rare Pokémon. It's a pity that it's not Entei's rival at all. As many trainers' Pokémon were defeated one after another. Only Xiaozhi and another girl in blue clothes were left at the scene. The 2 were preparing to attack Entei, but Entei seemed to have lost interest, so he jumped away directly. Out of everyone's sight, Xiaozhi, who had not fought, had a breath of energy that he had not released. So he simply started fighting with the girl in blue named Seiko. Before the battle, the girl in blue taunted Xiaozhi. Said Xiaozhi is just a little kid who relies on his mother. This made Xiaozhi instantly furious. He sent Pikachu directly to fight. Just like a child doesn't like to be called a child. Xiaozhi also doesn't like to be said to be someone who relies on his mother. In other words, the rebellious period has arrived. However, something unexpected happened during the battle. Seiko's Piplup used Hydro Pump to hit an Onix behind Pikachu. Onix, who was hit by 4 times of restraint, did not lose his fighting ability. Instead, he went crazy and charged towards Piplup normally. Xiaozhi picked up Piplup with quick eyes and hands. Then he rolled to dodge Onix's attack. Let's go. Xiaozhi threw Piplup to Changji, and then started running with all his strength. And Onix was so irritated by them that he kept chasing them. By chance, the two fell on Onix's head. However, Onix still didn't stop his crazy head and started tackle around like crazy. Changji hugged Rock tightly on Onix and said, "If this continues, Onix will probably be seriously injured by himself." Onix, I'm sorry. We didn't mean it. Don't be angry. Facing Xiaozhi's shouting, Onix turned a deaf ear and continued to tackle around. It's useless. Onix is so angry now that he can't hear what you say. Xiaozhi started his high-end operation. I saw him supporting Onix's head with one hand. A power-up splash over Onix's head. The height of his jump is even higher than when he saved Sceptile. Then, without any assistance, Xiaozhi landed smoothly. Then he turned around instantly, opened his hands, and blocked Onix. Stop it, Onix. Open black lens bracket Yulongdu. Damn it, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Diantha. Wowsow, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Bruno. Nest grass, close black lens bracket. Lian Wu, can't you use some other adjectives? For example, I'll go. Lorelei, you're not much better than them. Dandy. Even in a parallel world, Xiaozhi's mega true rookie physique is still strong. It feels like Xiaozhi's physical body is stronger now than he was during the Hoenn period. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Cynthia. As this, the physical body becoming a saint really rookie, close black lens bracket. Qihong. Compared to that, we are going to hit each other. Close black lens bracket. In the image, faced with Xiaozhi's obstruction, Onix has no intention of stopping. He charged straight towards Xiaozhi. At this critical moment, Seiko commanded the whirlpool skill. A huge cyanwood-colored waterspout was thrown in front of Onix by Piplup. Under the obstruction of the water flow, Onix's eyes briefly regained their clarity. The water flow quickly disappeared, but Xiaozhi still stopped in front of Onix. The determination in his eyes made Onix shake in his heart. In this theatrical version, Xiaozhi only conquered and used 3 Pokémon, so I modified some plots so that Xiaozhi can still meet his own Pokémon. Chapter 116. The Destined Charmander, The Legend of Ho-Oh. Advertisement. In the image, I'm sorry Onix. It's our fault for frightening you. Please calm down quickly, otherwise your body will be seriously injured if this continues. Xiaozhi stopped in front of Onix and spoke sincerely. After the two sides looked at each other for tens of seconds, the hot-headed Onix finally calmed down. Then he threw the two pets off his back, Solician found a place and left. Phew, finally stopped Onix. Let me tell you, you are too reckless. You could have died if you were not careful just now. Isn't this okay? And Onix was in danger just now. Changji looked at Xiaozhi's indifferent expression and couldn't help but start to have a different view of him. This guy isn't a mama's boy. Haha, brother Xiaozhi's actions are so unexpected every time. But he succeeds every time. Stephanie is stunned now. She looked down on brother Xiaozhi before. Oops, it's my heartbeat. The audience was both shocked and justified by Xiaozhi's performance. This is Xiaozhi. For the safety of Pokémon, step forward regardless and risk your life to protect them. Even if that Onix is not his Pokémon. Maybe God gave him a strong body just because he saw Xiaozhi's character. Huh, Xiaozhi is so random. Dawn patted her small chest gently and breathed a sigh of relief. That jump just now scared her. Speaking of which, it seems that she will also have that Pokémon that looks like a penguin in the future. After solving Onix's problem, soaring in the sky suddenly became gloomy. The patter of rain began to fall. Upon seeing this, the two people quickly started running to find a place to take shelter from the rain. After running for about 3 or 4 minutes, neither of them saw any place to take shelter from the rain. As they continued running, Xiaozhi suddenly felt something and looked to his right. On the stone pier, I saw a Charmander sitting quietly in the rain. The flame on his tail has become very weak. Xiaozhi ran over quickly. Seiko followed closely behind, and after getting closer, Seiko couldn't help but said while looking at the flames on Charmander's tail. It's Charmander. The flame on his tail represents his vitality. If the flame disappears, the fire dragon's life will also be lost. Xiaozhi carefully placed his hands on the flames of Charmander's tail. She shielded him from the rain as much as possible. Charmander, why are you here alone? Why don't you come with us to take shelter from the rain? Facing Xiaozhi's inquiry, Charmander just glanced at him listlessly. He continued to look ahead with dull eyes. For a moment, Xiaozhi didn't know what to do. If we leave it alone like this, Charmander will lose his life. Suddenly, Charmander's dull eyes became brighter. He stood up with difficulty, dragging his body and staggering forward. Xiaozhi and Chengji looked up. I found a young man with unconventional orange-brown hair slowly walking out of the dark forest. And behind it is a ferocious red wolf with red eyes. Red skin, white mane, and a sharp rock at the top of the mane. This is Alola region's Lycanroc, what the knight looks like. It's an extremely vicious Pokémon. If he wasn't a highly skilled trainer, Normal wouldn't be able to command and control him. Charmander was even more delighted after seeing the unconventional boy and hugged his calf. Just when Xiaozhi and Chengji thought it was Charmander's trainer coming back to pick him up, the man kicked Charmander into a small puddle that had accumulated. In an instant, everyone who loves Pokémon around the world went crazy. What the hell is MD? Is this Charmander's trainer in this world? Brothers, let each of you spit before leaving. What a wise act. Laughing, Charmander, no matter where the first trainer I meet is trash. In the image, Xiaozhi was also shocked after seeing the behavior of non-mainstream teenagers. He quickly ran over and picked up Charmander from the puddle. That blow just now made the already weak Charmander even weaker. However, even so, Charmander still looked at the unconventional boy with confused eyes. Are you Charmander's trainer? Huh, what are you going to do? Answer my question. Looking at the fierce look on Xiaozhi's young face, even the non-mainstream teenagers couldn't help but take a step back in fright. He reacted immediately, with a slightly annoyed look on his face. He was so frightened by a little kid that he took a step back. Then he returned to Xiaozhi with an expression of ridicule and disdain. Advertisement. It's true that I was his trainer. Originally, Xiaozhi has a bad feeling. Yeah, originally. Later, I thought this guy was too weak, so I just abandoned him. There are as many Charmanders like him as there are on the street. But, after I abandoned this guy, he still followed me shamelessly. So I told him, wait for me here. Unexpectedly, he actually continued to wait here. Xiaozhi and Chengji were stunned for a moment, and then Chengji cursed loudly. You guy, do you know that if you say, wait for me here, to the tamed Pokémon, they will wait here for you until they die? Do you have any humanity? So what? Weak things are not qualified to be my Pokémon. Yulongdu. Wowsow. This guy is just as annoying as that guy named Damien. Close black lens bracket. Diantha. More than that. I hate this guy even more. Close black lens bracket. DNC. Damien's words give people an annoying feeling of being obviously incompetent but very cheerful, but this guy is different. The Pokémon behind him is not an ordinary person. You can see it through the screen. Close black lens bracket. Dandy. No matter how powerful the trainer is and how powerful the Pokémon is, this is not a reason to abandon Pokémon. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. That's right, such a person doesn't deserve to be called a trainer. Many champion elites also couldn't stand the behavior of the non-mainstream teenagers in the picture. Although he is indeed stronger than Damien in this world. But so what? This is no reason for him to abandon Pokémon. If in this world, the fate of abandoning Pokémon would be Damien's fate. That guy is still in jail now. In the image, faced with the excessive words of non-mainstream teenagers, Xiaozhi looked angry and grabbed the backpack on the back of the boy who was about to leave. You guy, how could you do such an outrageous thing to Pokémon? The non-mainstream boy looked angry, turned around suddenly, and threw Xiaozhi's hand away. And Lycanroc beside him also stared. Swinging the sharp rock above his head, he hit Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi subconsciously reached out with one hand and firmly grasped the tackle rock in his hand. And he himself just took a step back. Seiko. Non-mainstream boy. Lycanroc. Wowsow. What kind of arm strength does this guy have? Even if Lycanroc's Solacean collides with it, it's not something humans can handle, right? The viewers watching are already used to this. Do you understand the basics? Basics. Xiaozhi casually pushed Lycanroc away and continued to look directly at the non-mainstream boy. Seiko, on the other hand, silently held Charmander in her arms, trying to protect her from the rain. The non-mainstream boy suppressed his inner shock. Of course, in this world, the winner takes all. My goal is to become the strongest trainer. Failure will only make people die. So I don't need such a weak Charmander, do you understand? Seiko couldn't help but retorted. Shouldn't it be the trainer's responsibility to make Pokémon stronger? If weak Pokémon were to be abandoned, the world would have been in chaos. Then do you have any suggestions? What? I said, what you said is so nice. Do you have any suggestions on how to make Pokémon stronger? Can you make Pokémon stronger just by talking? It really makes me laugh out loud. The non-mainstream boy said arrogantly and was about to leave. Suddenly, Xiaozhi opened his mouth and said, become friends. Ha, become friends with Pokémon. Train with them. Play with them. Grow together. This is the secret of Pokémon becoming stronger. ... It's extremely boring. Remember, I am the one who wants to become the most powerful trainer in the world. My name is Cross. You will never be able to catch up with a guy like you who relies on friendship or something to improve in your life. Get up to my pace. After saying that, Cross turned and left, no longer talking to Xiaozhi and others. For him, if he has this time, he might as well think more about how to improve his Pokémon. Hey, stop. Charmander left Seiko's arms and stumbled towards Cross, who was drifting away. But now Charmander's physical strength is no longer enough for him to continue walking. Crack. There was a crisp sound, and Charmander fell into the pool. The flames behind have become invisible. Xiaozhi, leave him alone. We have to take Charmander for treatment. Good. Xiaozhi gritted his teeth, no longer looked at Cross who was leaving, picked up Charmander. He covered it with his clothes, and then started running wildly in the heavy rain. This moment is just like that moment. Xiaozhi held Charmander like this at the beginning and ran wildly in the heavy rain. Although they are in different worlds, the fates of Xiaozhi and Charmander are once again connected. Advertisement. Yulongdu. Although Xiaozhi no longer has a partner to rely on, Xiaozhi is still the same Xiaozhi. Close black lens bracket. Diantha. Who said there is no support? Isn't Pikachu a partner? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Yulongdu. Close black lens bracket. Alder. Look at the little Stephanie next to Xiaozhi, maybe she will travel with Xiaozhi next. Close black lens bracket. 0. Please give me flowers. Cynthia. Maybe, seeing Xiaozhi's handsome performance, it's hard for Stephanie not to be fascinated, right? Close black lens bracket. Misty. Danger. What's going on? Even if I don't have different world lines. Why is there a tomboy who is similar to me? And she also uses water-type Pokémon. Misty really felt the way of heaven. Of malice. In image. Xiaozhi and Chengji finally found a cave after running for who knows how long. The two of them quickly ran into the cave to take shelter from the rain. Pikachu and Piplup shook off all the rainwater from their bodies as soon as they came in. If these furry Pokémon get caught in the rain, their bodies will feel particularly uncomfortable. When the two came to the cave, they discovered that they were not the first ones to come to the cave. In the cave, someone had already risen, Courtney, sitting there quietly eating. The two of them took a closer look. Wasn't that the same person who fought against Entei before? Taking Lucario with him, the green-haired boy named Soji. Zonky looked shocked when he saw Charmander in Xiaozhi's arms, and then rushed over with a quick stride. He yelled at Xiaozhi angrily. Chengji quickly explained to Xiaozhi, and then Zongji realized that. It turns out that this Charmander is not Xiaozhi's Pokémon, but was abandoned by another trainer in the rain. After a period of fuss, Soji prepared the potion to treat Charmander. After letting Charmander drink it, his condition stabilized. In this cave, only a cluster of flames warmed the three of them. The three of them are no longer as tense as before when they were in front of Entei. After Soji and Seiko introduced themselves and stated their goals. Xiaozhi also introduced his goals. The world's best Pokémon master. What is that? The world's best trainer. No, it's something more powerful than that. What the hell? I don't understand at all. Ha 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 ha. In the laughter of the three people, a sound suddenly reached their ears. At the entrance of the cave, a powerful and domineering four-legged Pokémon slowly walked in. There are many various Pokémon around it. Emperor Yan. Xiaozhi murmured the name of the leading Pokémon. Yes, it's Entei who's here. Faced with the violent storms of nature, even Entei doesn't want to stay outside in the bad weather. Entei just glanced at the three of them after entering the cave, and then found a place to rest. Soji, whose target is Pokémon Professor, is also very familiar with the legends of the Pokémon world. He took out something similar to a tablet and showed the picture of the main holy beast to Xiaozhi. Legend has it that Entei is a life resurrected by Ho-Oh. Not only Entei, but also the three legendary holy beasts were all resurrected by Ho-Oh. In ancient times, people admired the power of gods and built high towers to worship them. Ho-Oh has always been worshipped at the Bell Tower. Ho-Oh's duty is to make humans and Pokémon live in peace. Later, about 300 years ago, someone tried to get his power. Ho-Oh burned down the Bell Tower in a rage and left humanity. When Ho-Oh burned down the Bell Tower, 3 Pokémon were burned to death inside. Ho-Oh gave them the power of gods and allowed them to escape from the Bell Tower. Quote. These 3 Pokémon are Suicune, Entei, and Raikou. Later, they were sent to the human world by Ho-Oh. When they think humans and Pokémon can live in peace, Ho-Oh will return to the human world. This is the story of Ho-Oh and the 3 holy beasts. It can be seen that Soji has worked hard on the legend of Ho-Oh and the 3 holy beasts. Otherwise, the story about Ho-Oh would not be able to be told so completely. Morty. This person knows the story of Ho-Oh very well. It seems that he is also a person who admires Ho-Oh very much. Morty is the gym leader of Enju City. At the same time, the bell tower where Ho-Oh lived before is also in Enju City. After seeing the copper mine Ho-Oh admirers, Morty couldn't help but say. You Longdu. It turns out that there is this kind of story between Ho-Oh and the 3 holy beasts. So, since Xiaozhi met Ho-Oh, he even got Ho-Oh's feather. Does that mean that, Phoenix? The king is ready to forgive mankind. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. It is not impossible. Don't forget, the title of this review is called Hero of the Rainbow. It is very likely that the key to repairing the relationship between Ho-Oh and humans lies in Xiaozhi's body. Opening square bracket exclamation mark closing square bracket. Cynthia. Xiaozhi's pure and kind heart actually attracted Ho-Oh. I should say, he is indeed Xiaozhi. Close black lens bracket. Everyone couldn't help but admire Ho-Oh, who has not appeared in front of humans for hundreds of years, and has not even appeared in any rumors. Now they are all attracted by Xiaozhi. You can see what a special person Xiaozhi is. Asterisk 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 asterisk. P.S. The legend I quoted here is folklore. In the theatrical version, Ho-Oh did not come out for only 150 years. And slightly different from Bell Tower, it's not Ho-Oh, but a thunder and lightning falling from the sky. I think quoting folklore can better explain why Ho-Oh rarely appears in front of people. Chapter 117. The Fantasy Pokémon Marshadow, The Legend of the Rainbow Hero. Advertisement. In the image, after Soji finished explaining the story about Ho-Oh to Xiaozhi, he slid the tablet in his hand. A photo of a beautiful big bird appeared in front of Xiaozhi. This is Ho-Oh. It was restored and colored based on the images of mythical and legendary ruins. Xiaozhi was stunned when he saw it. Not only that, Pikachu on Xiaozhi's shoulder was also stunned. Soji thought that this was the first time that one person and one mouse saw Ho-Oh and was shocked by Ho-Oh's beauty. He couldn't help but laugh. How about it? Ho-Oh is beautiful, isn't it? This elegant posture and gorgeous colors are truly a Pokémon that only appears in dreams. No. It's not, actually. Pikachu and I met Ho-Oh when we were setting out. Zhongji. Zhongki suspected that he had heard wrongly, and saw him looking at Xiaozhi with wide eyes. It seemed that he was trying to determine whether Xiaozhi was cheating on him. Really? The Ho-Oh we saw looks very similar to the one in this picture, right? Pikachu. Pikapi. Pikachu nodded repeatedly. Suddenly, Xiaozhi seemed to have thought of something. So he held the sleeping Charmander in his arms and ran all the way to where he was hanging the clothes. Then, Xiaozhi took out a beautiful feather from inside his clothes. When Xiaozhi held the feather emitted bright colorful lights. Look, I picked this up after meeting Ho-Oh. Rainbow wing. Zhongki exclaimed and couldn't help but stood up and came closer to Xiaozhi. But he didn't touch the feather on Xiaozhi's hand because he had heard a legend. The side seemed to be sleeping soundly. Hearing this, Entei raised his eyelids. After seeing the feathers emitting colorful light, a trace of true shock couldn't help but flash in his eyes. Ho-Oh, does he take a fancy to this human being? In Entei's shadow, two small red lights suddenly appeared. Then a small figure slowly poked its head out from Entei's shadow. Quietly looking at Xiaozhi and others, or, looking at the rainbow wing in Xiaozhi's hand. It turns out to be the rainbow wing, the legendary Ho-Oh's extremely precious feather. Only a handful of people valued by Ho-Oh will be given this feather. However, this is just a legend after all. From ancient times to the present, there is no definite record that anyone has obtained the rainbow wing. Soji looked very shocked when he looked at the rainbow wing that was shining with colorful light. Hearing this, Changji on the side also had little stars twinkling in his eyes. Hey, what's the use of such a magical rainbow wing? It is said that the rainbow wing will guide the owner to meet Ho-Oh. After being recognized by Ho-Oh, he can become the hero of the rainbow. The stars in Changji's eyes shone brighter and brighter. The hero of the rainbow. What a cool name. What is the use of the hero of the rainbow? ... I have no idea. Quote. Makoto. The starlight in the girl's eyes suddenly stopped. What a shame. Didn't you understand everything just now? Why don't you know the most important point? Ha ha ha. The best answer is, I don't know. Ha ha. Such a serious young man like Soji said this, I don't know why I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Stop talking. I laughed out loud too. It's so funny. In this relaxed atmosphere, everyone forgot what Cross had just done. A harmonious and friendly world like this is the world of Pokémon. In the image, after the two experienced the initial shock, they slowly calmed down. I didn't expect Xiaozhi to be the hero of the rainbow or something. This is too magical, but then again, at such a close distance. Xiaozhi took out the feather of rainbow light, but Entei didn't react at all. The two secretly glanced in Entei's direction. I found that Entei still had his eyes closed, as if he was asleep. In fact, Entei is just taking a nap now. As a legendary Pokémon, you cannot lose the B block. The hero of the rainbow sounds so powerful. To be honest, but why do you sound like you are bragging? Haha, it seems so. Laughter filled the cold, dark cave. It seems that under the laughter of everyone, this cave is no longer so cold. Soon, the three of them fell asleep half lying on the rock wall. When the three of them fell asleep, a normal smoke-like Pokémon slowly emerged from Entei's shadow. Audiences around the world have actually noticed this Pokémon in the shadow just now. However, the picture only lasted for a moment, causing many people to think that it was their illusion. Now this Pokémon emerges from the shadows completely. Only then did everyone realize that it was not their illusion just now. There really are Pokémon in the shadows. The Pokémon that came out was like dark smoke normal, and its head seemed to be smoking. Normal. And there is also a collar around the neck that looks like smoke. Advertisement. His eyes are yellow and red. The overall appearance is not very spooky, but rather cute. Yulongdu. What kind of Pokémon is this? Besides Gengar, are there any other Pokémon that can enter the shadow? Diantha. He looks like a very cute little guy. But being able to be with Entei, there must be something special about him. Cynthia. This Pokémon, I don't think I've seen it in the history of mythology. Close black lens bracket. Although Cynthia is a fan of mythology research, but she is still the Sinnoh champion after all. There is no way to travel around the world studying mythology and history. So she doesn't know all the legendary Pokémon. Open black lens bracket. Professor Kukui. Isn't this Marshadow? Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Yes, this should be Marshadow. The legendary messenger of Ho-Oh. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Phoebe. Tell me more about Magento. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Chantal. I smell ghost-type Pokémon. Close black lens bracket. Phoebe, one of the Elite Four in the Hoenn region, and Chantal, one of the Elite Four in the Unova region, are both ghost-specialized elites. When they saw Marshadow for the first time, they were deeply attracted. After all, Marshadow is very cute. From an intuitive point of view, he seems to be a ghost-type Pokémon. It can be said that it perfectly matches the sexual characteristics of these two women. Agatha actually likes Marshadow a lot, but she got angry when she saw Professor Oak say something. Professor Kukui. Marshadow is actually a fantasy Pokémon spread in our Alola region. In the legend, he is timid and weak, with the ability to sneak into all shadows. It is a Pokémon with the fighting and ghost-type attribute. It can sneak into the opponent's shadow, mimic the opponent's movements and strength, and understand the mood of the person it infiltrates. In the process of mimic, it will become stronger than the original form. It is said that he once sneaked into the shadow of a boxing master to copy the opponent's movements, and finally learned the ultimate secret. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Phoebe. The ultimate secret. Wow, so handsome. Close black lens bracket. Bruno. This little guy actually has a fighting type. And he also copied the movements of a boxing master. Hey, if only I could take back Marshadow. I think Marshadow is a perfect match for me. Close black lens bracket. Chantal. Don't be embarrassed, Marshadow's cute appearance is not suitable for a tall and thick person like you. Close black lens bracket. Phoebe. That's right, even if we want to conquer Marshadow, it will still be a competitive competition among our ghost elites. Bruno wiped the sweat from his head and decided not to reply. As the saying goes, it is difficult to raise a villain and a woman. If he continues to quarrel with those two women, I'm afraid he will be criticized to the point of being unable to step down. Professor Oak. In addition to the legend of Alola, we also have some legends in Kanto region. To be precise, they should be from Johto region. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Morty. Professor Oak, do you think he is the legendary guide of the Rainbow Hero? Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Yes. In myths and legends, Marshadow is the messenger of Ho-Oh, and he has the mission of guiding the Rainbow Hero to meet Ho-Oh. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. And during the meeting with Ho-Oh, Marshadow will keep observing the hero in the shadow of the hero. See if the hero is qualified to meet Ho-Oh. Close black lens bracket. Steven. I see, that's why Marshadow entered Xiaozhi's shadow. Close black lens bracket. In the image, the three ignorant people slept soundly until dawn. After dawn, the three of them woke up in a daze. At this time, Charmander had completely recovered. And put his healthy flame tail in front of everyone. Xiaozhi and the other three were also very happy. Then came the classic subduing session. Xiaozhi asked Charmander if he would follow him. Charmander thought about his trainer in his mind. Then he remembered Xiaozhi's meticulous care for him last night. Finally, he nodded fiercely. Just like that, Xiaozhi gained another general, Charmander. Everyone knows that this Charmander will become a Charizard capable of fighting against gods in the future. Can even fight against high legends. Maybe, we can even compete with Charizard, the world's mightiest. That guy Cross, he has no idea what he's giving up. In order to pursue short-term strength, he released the Charmander who might become the strongest in the future. After conquering Charmander, Xiaozhi, Chengji and Zhongji proposed. The three of them traveled together to find Ho-Oh. The two also readily agreed. The two of them are also very curious about the legendary mysterious Ho-Oh. In this way, Xiaozhi once again formed a trio in this parallel world. Professor Oak Laboratory Backyard. That's great, Xiaozhi, you have found a reliable companion. Delia is happy for Xiaozhi. Because she felt that Xiaozhi was always reckless. If he traveled alone, maybe something will happen. Now I have two more companions by my side, and they are both companions with quite good character. Therefore, Delia also let go of her worries. If the two of them are here, Xiaozhi shouldn't have any problems, right? It's like having Misty Xiaogang by Xiaozhi's side now. Yes, Mom. I feel like Seiko and Xiaozhi are similar to Misty Xiaoging. Xiaozhi, like Xiaoging, can heal Pokémon. And he knows a lot more. He also knows how to make Pokémon food. Maiko is a female Tyrannosaurus just like Misty. Misty, Xiaozhi, I didn't hear what you said just now, can you please say it again? Misty's words were extremely soft, but Xiaozhi felt infinite murderous intent from them. Although his emotional intelligence is low, his desire to survive is high. Advertisement. If you answer the wrong question here, you will die. You will really die. Misty and Seiko, you are strong and gentle. Yes, that's it. Snort. Misty snorted and released Stockpile's fist. If Professor Oak and Delia hadn't been here, Xiaozhi might not have had a second chance to speak. Qihong saw this scene in her eyes. The biggest difference between Xiaozhi today and before is that he has a companion he can rely on when traveling together. These companions slowed down his growth rate. But sometimes becoming stronger too quickly is actually not a good thing. Therefore, Qihong is actually quite envious that Xiaozhi has such a group of friendly friends who can travel together. There are some things that cannot be exchanged for combat power. In image, after Xiaozhi made an agreement with Chengji and Soji to meet Ho-Oh, the three of them started traveling. Rainbow Wing will guide them in the way forward. Xiaozhi also challenged some gyms along the way. Along the way, Seiko even met Suicune. Xiaozhi was deeply asleep at the time, so it was a pity that he didn't see her. According to Seiko, the physical Suicune looks extremely elegant and exudes a powerful aura. Suicune like this surely won't be caught in some fishing net, right? Soon, Xiaozhi already had 5 gym badges collected. And his Charmander has also evolved into Charmeleon. Caterpie evolved into Butterfree. As for Bulbasaur and Squirtle, they still haven't evolved in this world. And Pidgeotto's strength should have reached the point where he can evolve. I just don't know why it hasn't evolved yet. One day, Xiaozhi fought with passers-by at the 963 free battlefield outside the Pokémon Center. Xiaozhi sent Pikachu here. Rival, on the other hand, uses a majestic heavyweight Pokémon. Snorlax. As soon as the battle began, that Snorlax showed great strength. Its power is no less than the normal gym trainer. It is even a bit stronger. But Pikachu is even stronger. Facing the heavyweight Snorlax, Pikachu went straight to the fight. When the opponent used Body Slam, Xiaozhi ordered Pikachu to use Iron Tail. The weight of Snorlax is even greater than that of Golem. Weighing nearly half a ton, it leaps several meters high and jumps down to use Body Slam. In this regard, Xiaozhi actually used Iron Tail. This left viewers around the world a bit confused. At this time, shouldn't we use our speed to dodge the Body Slam and then counterattack? What is Iron Tail? But then, a picture that shocked everyone came. In the image, splashing high, Snorlax falls like a shooting star. With the howling wind. He pressed Pikachu hard underneath him. Just when everyone thought that Pikachu had lost his ability to fight. A bright silver light burst out from Snorlax's body. Boom. The half-ton Snorlax was ejected like a cannonball. The silver light on Pikachu's tail barely dissipated. Pikachu, give him the last thunderbolt. Pikachu. The powerful golden light turned into a zigzag arc and directly hit Snorlax in midair. And there was a huge explosion. After being hit by Thunderbolt, Snorlax fell heavily from soaring in the sky. It set off billowing smoke and dust, and after the dust dispersed, Snorlax had lost his ability to fight. Turtle. Is this the G Iron Tail? Good guy, the power of this Iron Tail is not weaker than hitting Regice, right? But when we played against Mr. Brandon, Xiaozhi had already traveled to 2 or 3 regions, right? Now he only has 5 badges. Pikachu in the parallel world is so scary. When everyone praised Pikachu, the champion elites saw more things. Open black lens bracket Yulongdu. Xiaozhi is only on his 5th badge now, right? But why is this Pikachu? Close black lens bracket. Lorelei. The strength is so wrong. Now Xiaozhi obviously didn't let Pikachu explode or anything, it's just the normal strength of Pikachu. However, that Pikachu has already reaching elite level. Lorelei. You know, Xiaozhi in our world, after defeating 8 gym trainers, getting 8 badges, and participating in the Indigo Plateau Conference, his Pikachu also remained. It has not reached this point. Diantha. By the way, Xiaozhi's current Pikachu has been strengthened by Tiandao. Close black lens bracket. Dandy. Why is Xiaozhi growing so fast in another world line? Close black lens bracket. Qihong. Because at the beginning, he was like me and had no companions. Close black lens bracket. Chapter 118. Can Xiaozhi also be the champion at 10 years old? Support from all partners. Advertisement. Kai Hong's words shocked everyone. What does it mean to have no companions? Could it be that? Do you have to become lonely if you want to become stronger? Qihong. The existence of partners makes people weak and dependent. Therefore, Xiaozhi cannot use all his talents. Close black lens bracket. Dandy. What do you mean? Xiaozhi is traveling with his friends now, is it a wrong choice? Close black lens bracket. Xiaozhi. I don't think so. Brother Qihong. Mr. Dandy. I do rely on my friends around me. But it's also because of them. I can get to where I am now. So, please don't deny them. Single quote. Misty and Xiaogang were almost moved to tears watching Xiaozhi's speech. The moment Qihong made a sound, even they thought they made the wrong choice to travel with Xiaozhi. After all, in the parallel world, Xiaozhi without them is undoubtedly more powerful. It is also closer to the original red color. With just 5 badges, Pikachu already has the strength to beat Elite. If he reaches the 8th gym like Qihong, he may not even be the champion. This is Xiaozhi's full power talent. However, Xiaozhi in the real world, after seeing his growth in another world. I don't regret traveling with them at all. What they think is wrong, the person involved, Xiaozhi, doesn't think so. Because for him, traveling with Misty, Xiaogang and the others, or even traveling with Mei, Dawn, Clemont, Alice, Sei, Lena, and others behind them. These are his most precious memories and treasures. This world is not just about the bond between people and Pokémon. There are also bonds between people. Qihong. I didn't say that Xiaozhi's choice was wrong. I was just explaining to you why Xiaozhi didn't grow up so fast in this world. Close black lens bracket. Qihong. On the contrary, the current Xiaozhi's growth path is actually more in line with him. My path. He is not suitable. Close black lens bracket. Red. Partners make people dependent and create weakness, but only with friends around can we inspire stronger power. Xiaozhi has more bonds than me. As time goes by, he will be stronger than me. Close black lens bracket. The red words are deeply engraved in everyone's mind. Fetters can make people weak and dependent, but at the same time, they can also make people become unparalleledly powerful. The power of Crimson Red is obvious to all. At just 10 years old, he was able to defeat high-level legends. And Qihong said that Xiaozhi will be stronger than him in the future. So what will Xiaozhi's future look like? Brother Qihong. Xiaozhi looked at what Qihong said and looked at him moved. 113 Qihong did not deny the path he took, and was very sure that he in the future could surpass him. Qihong. I didn't mean to exaggerate, I was just stating the facts. If you grow up step by step, it will probably take a long time to reach my level, but I still think that you can definitely be stronger than me in the future. Not just because of the bond, but also because you are the protagonist of this world. Qihong did not say this sentence. See the images on the inventory. As well as the words discussed by the elite champions, Qihong has vaguely found an answer in her heart. But slow growth is a thing of the past. Now that I'm here, then you have to be prepared to be trained by the devil, you know Xiaozhi. Don't worry, brother Qihong. I will definitely follow in your footsteps. Xiaozhi seemed very interested. Gary on the side was hesitant to speak. I always feel like if this continues, he will be left far behind by Xiaozhi. With Qihong's training, Xiaozhi's eyes growth would be slow. Damn it, when will his plug-in arrive? Shivering. Image 1. After Pikachu solved Snorlax, this outdoor free duel ended. Then Xiaozhi, Zonky and others came to a nearby library. There, Soji found a book called Ho-Oh is My Life. It introduces the story of Ho-Oh in detail. More than Soji knows. When the rainbow wing exists in the hands of a righteous, simple and kind person, it will emit dazzling rainbow light. Quote. But if it falls into the hands of someone with evil intentions, it will be contaminated by the power of darkness. The feather will completely lose its luster. Hearing this, Xiaozhi took out his feathers, which still exuded dazzling colorful light. There's nothing wrong with my rainbow wing. That's right. After all, Xiaozhi is a simple daredevil. He doesn't have any evil intentions. Of course, when it comes to innocence and recklessness, I think I can't lose to anyone. After saying this, Soji and Seiko burst into laughter. Only then did Xiaozhi realize that what Changji said just now also included a daredevil. Cora, why are you laughing? Amidst the laughter, a dark shadow quietly left the door of the library. Yulongdu. That shadow just now was Steven. It's Cross. Although it's just a first in command, I can't get it wrong. Close black lens bracket. Alder. This is troublesome. Crow Addy knows that Chitaro has the rainbow wing. I wonder if he will have any evil intentions. Advertisement. Open black lens bracket Cynthia. Trust Xiaozhi, close black lens bracket. In the image. After Xiaozhi and others checked the information, they continued to follow Rainbow Wing's guidance to find Ho-Oh. In a daily free battle one day, Xiaozhi's Pikachu did a great job defeating a golem. It seems that since Xiaozhi started traveling, he only suffered a loss when he started being chased by the Spearow group. In the next battle, at least on the surface, Pikachu will not lose. Is this the real rookie with complete talent? It's so terrifying. Just when Xiaozhi was preparing to face the next challenger, a gloomy voice came from the crowd. It's my turn next. I saw a dark young man wearing a black jacket and short sleeves slowly walking out of the crowd. There is also a scary-looking red werewolf beside him. Cross. When Changji saw the person coming, he couldn't help but said. Xiaozhi looked stunned. This guy is the one who abandoned Charmander. That's right. He was the one who abandoned Charmander in the heavy rain. This was the first time Xiaozhi saw Cross, and he didn't expect that this guy would find him here. In Liberty Stadium, Cross walked to the trainer position opposite Xiaozhi and said sarcastically. I heard that you conquered that useless Charmander. Tisk, the useless Pokémon and the useless trainer really go together. No kidding. There are no weak Pokémon. There are only incompetent trainers. It's up to you, Charmeleon. Xiaozhi loudly refuted Cross's words and released his evolved Charmeleon. In this world, Charmeleon has not become disobedient. One possibility is that Xiaozhi's trainer level is not normal. Another thing is that Charmander's experience is not normal. Roar. Charmeleon looked up to the sky and roared as soon as he came out, but when he saw his rival. The arrogant look on his face was instantly stunned. This time rival turned out to be his former trainer. Tisk, have you evolved? However, weak things are still weak even after they evolve. That's not the case. As long as you grow up with trainer, no matter what kind of Pokemon you are, it can become extremely powerful. Cross looked arrogantly and took out a Pokeball. Then let you see the reality clearly. This is the powerful fire Pokemon I conquered after abandoning that guy. Come on, Incineroar. Roar. A ferocious and muscular tiger appears in front of everyone. First Lycanroc, then Incineroar. Did this guy grow up in Alola? Incineroar's fierce aura threatened Charmeleon to take a step back. The former trainer, plus the powerful Incineroar. Even if it wasn't intimidating ability, it still made Charmeleon feel a little flinched. Xiaozhi is now limited to traveling in Kanto region. Since he doesn't study Pokemon much, he naturally knows nothing about Pokemon like Incineroar. Charmeleon, Jet Destruction. Next, Incineroar's hands turned into claws, grabbing fiercely at the oncoming blazing flames. The blazing flames hit Incineroar directly head-on. After the flames disappeared, Incineroar's hands had become slightly charred. Cross, expression condensed. He didn't expect that the Charmander he abandoned would have grown to this point. I didn't expect that loser to grow to this point. But, so what if he has grown? Look, I will crush your friendship theory under my feet. I am correct. Incineroar, Flamethrower. Next, Xiaozhi also made the same command as Cross. However, Xiaozhi's behavior made Qihong frown slightly. Too impulsive, Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi doesn't know why. Why is he so impulsive? I mean you on the screen. You were obsessed in the image. You proved to Cross that people and Pokemon can become stronger through friendship and bonding. The idea was right, but it was done too hastily. Professor Oak nodded in agreement. Qihong is right. There are many ways to prove it, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a head-on victory over rival. At this time, Charmeleon has not evolved for a long time, and it has not fully adapted to the history of evolution. On the other hand, looking at the opponent's Incineroar, it looks like a veteran who has evolved for a long time. A one-on-one confrontation with the opponent like this is too unfavorable for Charmeleon. Advertisement. If you don't change your tactics. If you keep going like this, you will lose sooner or later. Xiaozhi looked at himself thoughtfully on the screen. He actually thinks the same as he does in the picture. However, with the help of Professor Oak and Qihong, he realized where he was wrong. But, no one mentioned him on the screen. I'm afraid the outcome of this battle will be 5 minutes later, in the video. Because Charmeleon is constantly confronting the opponent. Moreover, Xiaozhi's conductor was very anxious, and as Professor Oak said, Charmeleon has just evolved, and many of its powers have not yet adapted. So it was a pity that I lost. After Charmeleon's defeat, Xiaozhi woke up from a dream and his crazy head finally calmed down. He weakly held Charmeleon who had lost the ability to fight, and his heart was filled with self-blame. At this time Cross walked up and said with a mocking look on his face. How naive. You rely on cheap friendships and meaningless bonds to randomly command Pokemon to fight. He is a waste, and you are half as good. BWGB. B. No wonder you guys got involved together. You are the worst trainer I have ever seen. No, you are not even qualified to be a trainer. After the words fell, Cross left without looking back. Only Xiaozhi, who was gritting his teeth and looking unwilling, was left. Woot. It's too late to fight. Didn't B just win one game? What right do you have to mock Brother Xiaozhi? That's right. If Brother Xiaozhi releases Pikachu, 10 of his garbage Incineroar won't even be enough to fight. That's right. If Pikachu is used for this. Mouth. Audiences around the world couldn't stand what Cross was doing. Charmeleon has just evolved, and has not even adapted to its own strength. The flamethrower couldn't be released several times along the way. As for the opponent's Incineroar, it can control its body shape freely, and it looks like a Pokemon that has evolved for a long time. Although Xiaozhi's command was also a bit hasty. But many people believe that Xiaozhi will never lose, at least if he plays Pikachu. Yulongdu. Alas, that guy is indeed annoying, but he is right, Xiaozhi is too anxious. Close black lens bracket. Alder. Chitaro also wants to prove that Pokemon can become stronger through bonds. But, it's a little too hasty. Close black lens bracket. Misty. That guy. What the worst trainer. He is the worst trainer. What's the use of winning the battle? He has such a bad attitude towards Pokémon. He doesn't deserve to be called trainer. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Dawn. I agree too, Xiaozhi is not a bad trainer. Close black lens bracket. May. If the guy just now was my senior and led me on the road to travel, I would probably have nightmares now. My leader is Xiaozhi. It's so awesome. $77. Say Lena. Yes, Xiaozhi, don't care about what that person says. You will always be the best trainer in everyone's heart. Close black lens bracket. Clement. Trainers who have no ties to Pokémon are the ones who don't deserve to be called trainers. What that kind of guy says, Xiaozhi, if you take it to heart, it makes sense. Don't go. Close black lens bracket. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. All those who were familiar with Xiaozhi and those who had participated in the review launched their support for Xiaozhi at the same time. They don't want Xiaozhi to change his belief in Pokémon because of that guy. Hey Xiaozhi, you're not really affected by that idiot, are you? Gary asked, looking at Xiaozhi, who lowered his head and remained silent. You, what are you talking about? Who will be affected by that guy? Xiaozhi stretched out his arms and wiped away the tears from his face. Peas. The brothers who see this must also know. In addition to the normal TV and movie scenes, the inventory I write will also add some plots that I think about. TV and movies may have incomplete plots or unclear plots due to some factors, but I will make them clear here. Therefore, if you have watched the theatrical version of It's You, there are a few scenes that will definitely impress you. The first big skin teacher speaks with thunderous force. The second one is Xiaozhi's words when he lost to Cross. Xiaozhi is a person who loves Pokémon very much. In TV, his character has many flaws. But Xiaozhi in the 20th anniversary movie edition has an almost perfect personality from the beginning. He loves Pokémon, likes Pokémon, and even fights for his life because of Pokémon. It's actually hard for me to accept that he said it when he lost to Cruz. It would be nice if it was Pikachu. It would be nice if the Earl Dervish Pokémon was not Pikachu but Bulbasaur or Squirtle. Xiaozhi is a teenager, and teenagers can make mistakes, but Xiaozhi will not see the sad expression on his Pokémon. They would also say this when they were seriously injured. The editor wanted to create a picture of Xiaozhi's growth, but I think growth does not necessarily need to be portrayed through such troughs. Not to mention shaping Xiaozhi into a person who blames all the faults on his own Pokémon. Some people may have different opinions from me, benevolent people have different opinions, and the wise have different opinions. In short, I set here. Xiaozhi in this world line is almost comparable to Qihong. Normal Pikachu can fight Ho-Oh for a day, which already shows its gold content. In the theatrical version, the fight really lasted from morning to night, which was outrageous. As for the rest of the shaping, I will shape Xiaozhi's image in the future. He will make mistakes and be confused, but he will not blame the Pokémon for such mistakes. Chapter 119. The temporary separation is for a better encounter in the future. Advertisement. Professor Oak Laboratory Backyard. Xiaozhi was desperately wiping the tears from his eyes. To be honest, I was really hit hard in the video. But since he is here as a third party watching, he clearly knows what the problem is. Naturally, it didn't receive much of a blow. The reason that made him cry was because there were so many people coming to support him. Whether it's the elite champions or the friends who appear in the inventory video, they are all speaking out for him. Although Xiaozhi has not yet met and been with all kinds of people. But at this time, they have begun to have a future bond with Xiaozhi. Idiot Gary, I won't let my confidence waver because of something like that. I believe I am the same in the parallel world. Xiaozhi looked at the image on the screen firmly. He in the parallel world wouldn't be defeated so easily, right? In the image, the time has come to evening. Xiaozhi brought back the healed Pikachu and Charmeleon at the Pokémon Center. It's just that Xiaozhi looked very depressed at this time and didn't say a word. Behind him, Soji and Seiko were comforting him. Faced with their comfort, Xiaozhi gritted his teeth and said, "What Cross did as a trainer was absolutely wrong. I have no reason to lose to him." But Xiaozhi clenched his fists tightly, his face full of unwillingness. It's not that he can't accept defeat, it's that he can't accept being defeated by that kind of guy. And as the loser, he had no way to refute that guy's theory. Although Cross is annoying, his belief in becoming stronger cannot be denied. This is how he followed his Pokémon all the way. It's not terrible to lose. What's terrible is that you can't stand up after losing. Chengji also responded. 870, yes, Xiaozhi, it doesn't matter even if you lose this time. Isn't there a next time? If you can't stand up again because of one defeat, then you really lost to him. Hateful. Xiaozhi gritted his teeth and ran out directly, not looking back no matter how much Zonky and Chengji screamed. Yu Longdu. Alas, after all, I am still too young to withstand the blow. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. It's okay, Xiaozhi will definitely be fine. Close black lens bracket. Steven. Yes, the support on the barrage list just now shocked me. It turns out that Xiaozhi has so many supporters and partners without even realizing it. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Believe in Xiaozhi. He can get out of his confusion. In the image, Xiaozhi ran all the way to the outer forest, and the sunset had already set. Moonlight rises quietly. The only one who can follow Xiaozhi closely is Pikachu. Xiaozhi didn't look back, he knew that Pikachu had been following him. He slowed down his running speed, with some unspeakable meaning in his voice. Pikachu, am I not qualified to be your trainer? Pikachu shook his head heavily. But, I can't even win against Cross. I can't even win against that kind of person. It's so bad. He's right. I can't command Pokémon to fight at all. Urgent command and anxious attacks are the fundamental reasons why I lost the battle. Charmeleon is very strong. If I didn't direct him, he should be able to win. Pikachu walked directly in front of Xiaozhi and shook his head heavily. His was almost shaking like a rattle. Xiaozhi Solacean found a tree to sit down and took out the rainbow wing from his arms. Pikachu, you said, people like me are not qualified to become the hero of the rainbow. As he spoke, the brilliant colors of the feathers on Xiaozhi's hands seemed to be gradually dimming. Yulongdu. I understand. That guy Cross. He wants to break Xiaozhi's belief. Diantha. So that's what happened. I just said why that guy suddenly cared about Xiaozhi. Close black lens bracket. Bruno. What are you talking about? Lorelei. As expected of you, you can't understand. Lance knows but doesn't know. Commit suicide. Close black lens bracket. B. Open black lens bracket Yulongdu. Close black lens bracket. With these words, Lorelei fired 2 map cannons, scolding both Bruno and Lance. Cynthia. When we were in the library before, Cross heard Xiaozhi and the others discussing Rainbow Wing. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. When trainer has evil thoughts, the Rainbow Wing will lose its luster and release evil power. And the Rainbow Hero will naturally cease to exist. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. In other words, Cross wanted Xiaozhi to lose his qualifications as a Rainbow Hero. That's why he came to attack his belief and confidence. But he can do this, and it proves that he is himself. It has great strength. Professor Kukui. Indeed, although Cross is impersonal, he is still good at cultivating Pokémon. I estimate that Incineroar's strength is about Elite 1. Dandy. In any case, Cross's goal this time was considered successful. Because of this defeat, Xiaozhi began to doubt himself and even blamed himself. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. These emotions of self-blame and doubt are also negative emotions. Although these emotions are not external but towards oneself, the essence is the same. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Moreover, since the hero of the rainbow is called a hero, he must have a firm belief. Now Xiaozhi has lost his belief as a trainer because of his defeat, so, the feathers are still contaminated. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. As many people understood what Wang said to me, the uninformed audience finally knew. Why is the rainbow wing starting to fade and lose its color? What a vicious NM. Is this kind of person worthy of being a trainer? My heart is dark, wowsow. This guy must be jealous of Xiaozhi becoming the hero of the rainbow. 9 times out of 10. That guy named Cross is really a top-notch provincial. This piece of shit is really vinegar in the pit, it's sour and smelly. Quote. Everyone is deeply disgusted with Cross's behavior. His behavior of abandoning Pokémon is disgusting enough. And now, that guy is jealous of Xiaozhi and wants to disqualify Xiaozhi from becoming the hero of the rainbow. What kind of newborn is this? However, no matter how much the audience yelled at Cross couldn't hear it. Moreover, the rainbow wing in Xiaozhi's hand has become increasingly dim. In the image, the brilliance in Xiaozhi's eyes seemed to be slowly disappearing as the rainbow wing disappeared. Until rainbow wing completely lost its light, Xiaozhi lowered his hands feebly. My eyes have completely lost their luster. The pupils have become dim and dull. In a daze, Xiaozhi felt as if he had entered another world. In that world, Pokémon did not exist, and the rainbow was not formed by the arrival of Ho-Oh. It is something formed by the refraction of light and water droplets. In this dream-like world of normal, Xiaozhi is just an ordinary student. And his classmates also include Seiko and Soji. However, Xiaozhi who exists in this world always feels that there is something missing from normal. Until a yellow figure kept passing by him. The forgotten figure and name seemed to be getting clearer and clearer. In the end, Xiaozhi chased the yellow figure and ran all over the world, and finally his name rang out. Pikachu. After calling out the name he had forgotten, Xiaozhi suddenly woke up from his dream. Oncoming as a golden spark. Mound. Ah, so numb, so numb. In this dark and boundless forest, only the dazzling golden spark shines brightly. Hi, Pika. When Xiaozhi shouted, Pikachu dispersed the golden light. Around him, Soji, Lucario, Seiko, and Piplup were all looking at Xiaozhi worriedly. Pikachu was even panting and looked like he had exerted himself too much. Pikachu. Everyone. Xiaozhi hugged Pikachu in his arms. The yellow shadow just now was Pikachu using Thunderbolt to guide him. He almost forgot the most important thing. Xiaozhi, are you okay? Faced with Chengji's worried question, Xiaozhi shook his head. I'm fine now. Thank you everyone. I'm sorry for causing trouble to everyone because of my willfulness. Isn't that right? He ran away without saying a word, making it difficult for us to find him for a while. It's unreasonable not to treat us to a meal when he comes back. Hey, it's necessary. Zonky saw the rainbow wing falling next to Xiaozhi, bent down to pick it up, and handed it to Xiaozhi. Why did the rainbow wing fall out? This is a very important thing, isn't it? Although the rainbow wing at this time did not emit dazzling colorful light. But the color of its feathers has returned to color. It no longer looks dull like before. Yes, this is a very important thing. Xiaozhi took over the rainbow wing, and the beautiful feathers exuded brilliant colors again. Even shines brighter than before. I won't be confused anymore. Pikachu and everyone are working so hard to help me, how can I stop here because of this kind of thing? Cross. See you next time. I will never lose. Bruno. Great. Xiaozhi has set his goal again. But, why? Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Pikachu must have used Thunder Shock to convey his will to Xiaozhi. After feeling Pikachu's thoughts, Xiaozhi was no longer confused. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. That dream is also an important factor. If I guess correctly, the person who made Xiaozhi dream should be Marshadow. Kukui. According to legend, Marshadow has the power to confuse people. The dream that Xiaozhi saw just now may indeed be done by Marshadow. Close black lens bracket. Diantha. A world without Pokémon, it's quite scary just thinking about it. Everyone was very happy to see Xiaozhi recover again. This is the Xiaozhi they know. Xiaozhi may fail, but he will never be defeated. No matter how many times he fails, he will stand up again. In the image, after recovering, Xiaozhi embarked on the journey to find Ho-Oh again. During this period, Xiaozhi's Butterfree rescued a pink Butterfree. Advertisement. After going through a series of journeys, Xiaozhi and others finally arrived at the legendary mountain range under the rainbow. Unyielding Mountains. When Xiaozhi took out the rainbow wing, a rainbow light burst out from the rainbow wing. The target is pointed at the highest peak of the Unyielding Mountains, Tien. Green Hills. Is that where Ho-Oh is? That's right, it seems, we will be able to meet Ho-Oh soon. Okay, work harder, everyone. Pikapi. The group continued to move forward. On the way, they met a very large Butterfree tribe. Seeing this, Xiaozhi also let his Butterfree come out to play with them. However, after Zongji's explanation, Xiaozhi realized that this was not just a gathering of Butterfrees. But in order to reproduce and reproduce, we are preparing to move south together. Here, they saw the pink Butterfree again. That Butterfree is the brightest star even among the huge Butterfree group. Many Butterfrees danced a courtship dance with it, but she did not agree to any Butterfree. It seems like he is waiting for something. It wasn't until Xiaozhi's Butterfree danced a courtship dance with him that she readily agreed. It seems, the butterfly she is waiting for is Xiaozhi Butterfree, the hero who saved the beauty before. Hey, are you attracted to a hero who saves a beauty? It's very similar to Xiaozhi's Butterfree in this world. Xiaozhi Yu. After Xiaogang finished speaking, Misty keenly noticed something was wrong with Xiaozhi. He lowered his hat and did not dare to look at the image on the screen. Under the brim of the hat, there seemed to be some tears. Only then did Xiaogang realize that according to the trajectory of this world, wouldn't Butterfree be separated from Xiaozhi? Is that why Xiaozhi can't bear to look at it? After all, everyone in this world has already experienced separation once. I didn't expect to have to watch the scene of separation again. In the image, Butterfree was originally very happy after her courtship was successful. But when everyone started to leave one after another and prepare to move south, he started to get into trouble. Xiaozhi naturally doesn't want Butterfree to leave, but he wants to respect Butterfree's wishes. Butterfree, do you want to say goodbye to us and go south with the kid? Bin. Butterfree was in a dilemma for a while. Finally, after taking a reluctant look at the pink Butterfree, he flew back behind Xiaozhi, not daring to let the pink Butterfree touch him again. When faced with the choice between her new partner and Xiaozhi, Butterfree finally chose Xiaozhi. This is enough to prove how deep the bond between Butterfree and Xiaozhi is. However, seeing Butterfree's painful look on his face, Xiaozhi's heart tugged hard. He took out a ribbon from his backpack and tied it around Butterfree's neck. Then slowly pull it out from behind. Come with that kid Butterfree. Bye. It doesn't matter, we will meet again one day. It's rare that I met my wife-in-law, Stephanie, whom I like, and even successfully courted 5.7 others. How can you leave others alone? My words, it's okay. Having said this, Xiaozhi started to choke a little. Anyone can see how determined Xiaozhi was to say such a thing. Tailwind all the way, Butterfree. If you miss me, just look at the silk scarf around your neck. I will always be with you. Xiaozhi, who loves Pokémon so much, is facing separation from his own Pokémon. Anyway, there are quite a lot of explanations, so I'll just use my own version here, ha ha ha. Give him a trial to see if the rainbow hero can look directly at himself. How can I put this statement? It is reasonable, but it is said on the Pokémon Encyclopedia. Ps. I read that there are rumors that the reason why Xiaozhi said that was because of the trial given by Marshadow. Even the audience who were watching felt heartbroken, and tears fell involuntarily from the corners of some people's eyes. Xiaozhi only had negative emotions caused by being too proud after learning that he was the hero of the rainbow. And strictly speaking, this is not considered a release. After all, the relationship with Pokeball has not been dissolved yet. Regarding the issue of Butterfree's release, they are released in the video, but they will meet again and come back in the real world. Including the fiery monkey. It's impossible to conquer this Butterfree. Because Xiaozhi wants Butterfree to live a better life. This sentence is absolutely correct when applied to normal people, but when applied to Xiaozhi. To be honest, I almost cried when I saw this paragraph. Is releasing Pokemon a sign of hating Pokemon? What Marshadow did was just send Xiaozhi into another world, allowing him to regain his bonds. That is because you love Pokemon to the extreme, so you can bear it and release Pokemon. Marshadow will channel the negative emotions of the Rainbow Hero. Chapter 120. Charmeleon's Revenge. Super Evolution in Flames. Advertisement. Butterfree left. Xiaozhi, Pikachu, Xiaozhi and others all shed tears involuntarily. They will continue their journey to find Ho-Oh. Yulongdu. I'm in tears. Xiaozhi, who loves Pokemon so much, actually released Butterfree for his happiness. Lorelei. Can you talk? Is that called releasing animals? The Pokeball link has not been released. They will definitely meet again in the future. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Yes, the brief separation is for a better encounter. After their reproduction is over, it is not impossible to come back to look for Xiaozhi. Close black lens bracket. Sinnoh Bug-type Elite Aaron. Oh, how painful it is to be separated from Bug-type Pokemon. Xiaozhi is really a person with great perseverance. Aaron, admit him 71. Day. Who wants your recognition? Catalya. If you miss me, just look at the silk scarf around your neck, I will always be by your side. So romantic. By the way, doesn't Xiaozhi know how to love and love? Why did he act like a piece of wood before? Close black lens bracket. Diantha. Maybe Xiaozhi in the parallel world got the idea early because he started traveling alone. Ha ha ha. Look, this emotional intelligence, this way of speaking. If Xiaozhi is used on Stephanie, which Stephanie can refuse. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Haha, if Xiaozhi puts the emotional intelligence of Pokemon into Stephanie, I'm afraid no Stephanie can escape him. Open black lens bracket Diantha. Including you. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Cynthia. Close black lens bracket. When I type this question mark, it's not that I have a problem, it's that I think you have a problem. Why don't you look at what you are saying? Don't be sad Xiaozhi, all partings are for a better encounter. In this world, you also gave Butterfree a scarf, right? In this case, he will definitely come back to you again, taking his child with him together. Qihong said firmly to Xiaozhi. Although it is a parallel world, apart from the different people and things Xiaozhi meets above. The overall personality should be similar to the current Xiaozhi. This also gave Qihong a clear understanding of what kind of person Xiaozhi is. Even Qihong can't say that her love for Pokemon is stronger than Xiaozhi's. So Qihong believes that Butterfree in the future will definitely follow this bond and come back to look for Xiaozhi. Well, I'm borrowing Brother Crimson's auspicious words. By the way, we should see Ho-Oh next. I wonder if Pikachu can beat Ho-Oh. Pikachu raised his short hand and patted the non-existent muscles with a confident expression. Pikapi. The me in the video can definitely beat Ho-Oh. I'm afraid I can't win. Quote. Qihong's words immediately made Pikachu's confident face drop. This is also a senior electric mouse trainer, and his strength can be said to be very clear in the video. Since this person says he can't win, then I'm afraid it's really a matter of doubt. In the image, Xiaozhi and his party continued on the road to Tianqing Mountain after bidding farewell to Butterfree. On the way, they met the last of the three holy beasts, Raikou. But this time it was just a quick meeting, and Raikou left. But now they have seen all three members of Ho-Oh. Only Ho-Oh is left unseen. In other words, Ho-Oh is very close. On the way to Tianqing Mountain, the three of them met a man named Lord Fan. Master Fan said that he has been pursuing Ho-Oh for 20 years. Just to meet Ho-Oh. The book, Ho-Oh is My Life, was written by Lord Fan. Fan Yi even speculated based on his long-term experience of pursuing Ho-Oh that Ho-Oh is likely to appear on Tianqing Mountain. I have to say, Lao Feng is obsessed. After learning that Xiaozhi was the hero of the rainbow, Master Fan was very excited and asked to go with Xiaozhi and others to see Ho-Oh. On the way, Fan Yi told Xiaozhi that the reason why they met the three holy beasts was. It's because the three holy beasts want to test whether Xiaozhi is qualified to become the rainbow hero. Moreover, in Xiaozhi's shadow, there should be a shadow guide, Ma Junduo. Marshadow's mission is to guide the rainbow heroes to the right path, but when things go in the wrong direction, Marshadow will correct everything. Xiaozhi and everyone suddenly remembered. One night not long after Xiaozhi became autistic, Pikachu seemed to find a foreign object in the shadow. At that time, Pikachu also used Thunderbolt in excitement, which attracted a group of hot monkeys. Xiaozhi conquered one of the fiery monkeys who liked his hat. Then he forgot about the existence of something in the shadow. Everyone thought it was an illusion. But what I didn't expect was that there might actually be something inside Xiaozhi's shadow. And that thing is the legendary phantom Pokémon Magendo. Not enough. No matter how Xiaozhi and others observed, they could not see Magenduo in the shadow. It is estimated that if Marshadow does not take the initiative to come out, they will never be able to find him in this life. At this moment, the video showed Xiaozhi a close-up of the stone in the distance. A dark figure stood behind the stone, quietly observing Xiaozhi and others. Woot! It's this BCH again. MD, what kind of tarsal maggot? You've been following Xiaozhi forever, right? This bee doesn't want to grab the rainbow wing, does he? It's not impossible. This disgusting guy. When the audience saw the pitch-black figure, everything felt bad. Although there is only an outline, the annoying guy left a deep impression on the audience. That person is none other than Cross. After he attacked Xiaozhi, he probably saw that Xiaozhi had not lost his qualifications as a rainbow hero. So I started thinking of other crooked ideas. Advertisement. Everyone is praying that Xiaozhi will find the figure behind him quickly. But they seemed unaware. In the image, Xiaozhi and others experienced some rugged mountain roads, and the sky began to get darker. The sun sets and night comes. The journey was really too long, so everyone set up a tent on the mountain road and slept soundly all night. When the night leaves, cyan-wood-colored soaring in the sky reappears. Everyone set out again. Not long after, they arrived at the foot of Tianqing Mountain. Xiaozhi took out the rainbow wing on his body and raised it high towards Tianqing Mountain. The gorgeous colorful light turned into an arc-shaped light pillar and landed on a colorful rock in Tianqing Mountain. For a moment, the entire Tianqing Mountain seemed to be activated as normal. The originally dim mountain peaks began to glow with bright cyan light. Turn the normally gray mountain into a colorful cyan. Perhaps this is the origin of the name Tianqingshan. The boys and girls looked at the glowing mountain peaks excitedly and decided to climb to the top of the mountain in one go. Behind him, Master Fan, normal, sighed at the vitality of the young people and followed him leisurely. After arriving at the top of the mountain, Xiaozhi and others also saw the most brilliant rainbow-colored stone on the top of the mountain. Just put the rainbow wing on it and Ho-Oh will appear. Huchi, theoretically. Huchi, that's it. Master Fan panted behind him and said. Originally, they were walking slowly at first, but as a result, these little brats ran faster and faster. As a result, Master Fan had to speed up. How can his old man's body compare to that of a young man, and what's more, he's a mega rookie. After receiving Master Fan's confirmation, Xiaozhi ran forward excitedly. Zongqi and Chengji on the side also looked excited. You can see Ho-Oh soon. Xiaozhi, who was running, suddenly felt a strong sense of crisis. So he suddenly stopped and did a backflip. At this moment, a huge red and black humanoid tiger fell from the sky. Its hands also exude a dark purple light. This is one of Incineroar's signature skills, Throat Chop. Boom. The sharp claws hit the ground. The rock on the ground split open inch by inch, sputtering everywhere. If this move directly hits Xiaozhi, even if Mega is a real rookie, it will probably be extremely difficult for him to survive. Wowsow. As expected of brother Xiaozhi. The response is really quick. Do you understand the value of Mega Rookie? Fortunately, it was brother Xiaozhi who was attacked. If it had been anyone else, he would probably have hated it. What does Cross want to do? Are you ready to kill Xiaozhi? I think he wants to steal the rainbow wing. As the audience said, Cross's goal is the rainbow wing. However, after seeing Xiaozhi's abnormal physique before, this time I was going to let Incineroar get the most out of it. Unexpectedly, he was dodged by the opponent's inhuman reaction speed again. After Xiaozhi saw Incineroar, he instantly understood something. Cross no longer covered himself at this time, and slowly walked out from behind the rainbow rock. The lichen rock was still following him, and Incineroar also returned to his side. Cross, you actually followed me here. HMPH. I'm too lazy to say anything more to you. Just hand over the rainbow wing and you can leave. The only strongest trainer who can fight Ho-Oh is me. Zongqi couldn't help shouting angrily from the side. What are you thinking? The only person who can fight Ho-Oh is the rainbow hero. Even if you get the rainbow wing, you can't meet Ho-Oh. What Zongji said was indeed true, but how could the paranoid Cross listen to it? Stop talking nonsense. Only strength is the truth. Ho-Oh will fight against the powerful trainer. Xiaozhi squeezed rainbow wing tightly and shouted. What about the weak ones? It's rubbish. What about the losers? Not even as good as trash. It's hard. The fist is hard. Cross. Words completely angered Xiaozhi. As expected, I will never lose to someone like you. I want to prove it to you. The bond between Pokémon and people is definitely not a lie. At this moment, the rainbow wing in Xiaozhi's hand shone brightly. Something like a jet black doll normal suddenly appeared in the shadow under his feet. Guide of Shadow. Mazendo. Marshadow floated to the side after coming out, as if he didn't intend to intervene in this battle. Cross showed a proud smile upon seeing this. In his opinion, Marshadow should have acquiesced in the duel between them. As long as who wins. Whoever is qualified to challenge Ho-Oh. Xiaozhi put the rainbow wing in his hand back into his arms and took out the Pokeball belonging to Charmeleon. The decision is yours, Charmeleon. Quote. The Pokeball is thrown, and the high-spirited Charmeleon appears in front of Cross. The second time I saw Cross, this Charmeleon's will has not wavered at all. Advertisement. This time, he's going to win. Tisk, it's this waste again. Since I beat you once, I can beat you a second time. If you lose, just be obedient and hand over Rainbow Wing. Come on, Incineroar. Roar. Incineroar jumps out from Cross' side. This battle is not only a feud between trainers, but also a feud between two Pokémon. Yulongdu. Can Xiaozhi win this battle? Close black lens bracket. Diantha. It's a bit difficult. Charmeleon hasn't evolved into Charizard yet, and the opponent is not only in its final form, but also has an extra dark type that can defeat Charmeleon. On the other hand, Fire Terror. Dragons can only use Fire type. Close black lens bracket. Professor Kukui. Yes, the important thing is, Incineroar's power is much stronger than Charmeleon. If it were just Charmeleon's posture, it should be more difficult to win. Close black lens bracket. Dandy. Really, I think Xiaozhi can win this time. Alder. Chihiro's firm eyes tell me that he is going to win this battle. Close black lens bracket. Diantha. Actually, although it's a bit difficult, it's not impossible to win. Lance, please say something quickly. Xiaozhi is going to lose. Maybe he can win this game. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Yulongdu. Close black lens bracket. What the hell? You're treating me as a buff machine, right? You're ABCH. But Lance still muttered silently in his mind. Cruz is bound to win. How can he lose? He doesn't even know how to lose. It means the buff is full. Brother Chihong, can you win this one? Yes. 1. Chihong's words are concise and to the point. The Xiaozhi and Charmeleon contest condition at this time is completely different from the previous one. Although they lost once, their morale this time was stronger than before. As a peer of Xiaozhi's parallel world, Chihong knows better that when both parties maintain this attitude, how powerful Pokémon can be. This is the power of a fighting man. So Chihong thinks without hesitation that Xiaozhi can win. Young man, let's see what the power of bondage is. Before I knew it, it had been passed on. Flamethrower. Cross took the lead here. However, Xiaozhi will not let Charmeleon stand and get beaten this time. Dodge and dash. Use slash. Roar. Charmeleon ducked low to avoid the blazing flamethrower. Then he soared up against the burning pillar of flames. Its speed is so fast that even Incineroar cannot react. Tisk. The sharp claws glowing with white light slashed hard at Incineroar's body. 3 shallow blood marks were scratched on his and Zhao's solid muscles. The strength was a bit weak, but it still caused some damage. Cross was shocked for a moment by Charmeleon's speed. He didn't expect that it wouldn't be more than a month. Charmeleon is progressing so quickly. But even if the progress is rapid, it is still not as strong as Incineroar. Throat chop. Rue. A dark purple light appears in Incineroar's hands. Then he came like a nimble cheetah normal. Charmeleon's body is very flexible, facing the opponent's throat chop. He dodges left and right and dodges all attack routes. The surrounding steep rock walls and hard rocks are all places Charmeleon can use to dodge. What stands out about Incineroar's attack is a straight line. All obstacles were shattered under his dark and sharp claws. When Charmeleon opened the opponent's throat chop, Xiaozhi's expression condensed. Now, Mega Punch. The opponent's old strength has been exhausted and new strength has not yet emerged. This is the best time to attack. Roar. Charmeleon's right fist shone with golden light, and his entire figure shot out like an arrow from a string. The golden right fist hit Incineroar hard on the face with a sound of breaking through the air. Boom. Incineroar was hit with a right fist and was knocked back several meters. Charmeleon's fist sticks tightly to it as if it were filled with glue. It is constantly causing damage to it. Flamethrower. Cross also seized this opportunity and let Roaring Tiger use Flamethrower. The scorching sun gathered on the Roaring Tiger's belt. Then it exploded like an eruption machine. Spit up. Charmeleon can't dodge at this distance. He can only resist with his hands crossed in front of him. Charmeleon. The scorching fire sprayed Charmeleon's body. Xiaozhi's worried cry made the flames on Charmeleon's tail burn even more intensely. Then, bright light burst out from Charmeleon's body. This is evolution. Chapter 121. Flamethrower. Wrong. It's fusion flare. Nuclear bomb normals attack. Advertisement. Bathed in it, Charmeleon glowed brightly. Its size began to grow little by little. The flames bathing his body are also slowly being absorbed. This is when Charmeleon begins to evolve using Incineroar's flames. Boom. The huge dual wing beat opens. The strong wind suddenly blows away the surrounding flames. A new form of Charmeleon appeared in front of Cross. No, it should be called Charizard now. Give a salute to the birth of the king. Charmeleon evolves into Charizard. Pikachu. The strong bond between Xiaozhi and Charmeleon makes the fighting spirit in his heart even stronger. Strong fighting spirit and firm heart have created this evolution in the flames. The evolved Charizard is not inferior to Incineroar in terms of size. As for the power, the audience will be able to see it after a while. Yulongdu. It has evolved. Then this one. Open black lens bracket day. Cover it. JPG. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Catalia. Cover it. JPG. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Diantha. Cover. JPG. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Haha, Lance, you'd better talk less. Now just watch the fight between the two of them. HI. Open black lens bracket Yulongdu. Close black lens bracket. My heart is tired, forget it, I will stop talking. In the image, Cross was in disbelief when faced with Charizard's evolution. How is it possible? That trash actually. But so what if it evolves? I've said it before, even if trash evolves, it's still trash. Incineroar, throat chop. Facing the sudden Incineroar, Charizard turned to Xiaozhi and nodded. Xiaoji's head seemed to have passed through a ray of light, and he understood what skills Charizard could use now. Light passes through Conan. JPG. Use Dragon Claw. Roar. Eruption. 070. Dragon spreads his hands, and emerald green sharp energy claws cover his claws. After evolution, Charizard learned a new skill, Dragon Claw. Although neither Dragon Claw nor Slash are skills of this type, Dragon Claw is undoubtedly more useful. Every inch is longer and every inch is stronger. Boom. The emerald green Dragon Claw collides with the dark throat chop. The powerful wind exploded. The surrounding small stones were blown away. Bang bang bang. The two sides began a pure showdown of strength. If it were before evolution, Charmeleon would not be able to collide head-on with Incineroar. After evolution, it will be completely different. Charizard's strength has directly risen to the same level as Incineroar. No. Even stronger. Roar. After 4 or 5 consecutive collisions, the Dragon Claw in Charizard's hand expanded a few points again. Then he slashed hard with both claws. Incineroar hurriedly used Throat Chop to deal with it, but at this time he was no longer as powerful as Charizard. Boom. This time Dragon Claw directly knocked Incineroar away several meters. Now, Flamethrower. Protect. The green light shield tightly wrapped Incineroar, deflecting all the flames. Unfortunately, I didn't expect Cross's Incineroar to even learn Protect. Changji said with great pity. Without Protect, even if the Roaring Tiger resists fire damage. That move, Flamethrower, can definitely cause serious damage. It doesn't matter, Charizard flies. Now Charizard is not only fire type. He also has the advantage of flying type. Charizard spreads his wings and starts to soar soaring in the sky with his huge wings. Flamethrower. Seeing this, Cross wanted to use Flamethrower to knock Charizard down. The blazing flames shot out together in a straight pillar of fire. Charizard flaps its wings and flies freely soaring in the sky to dodge. The flames swept across the surrounding steep rock walls, erupting into huge smoke. Incineroar's Flamethrower is very strong and good, but if it misses, it's meaningless. Charizard, Dragon Rage, Roar. The bright purple energy condensed in Charizard's mouth, and then turned into a huge purple ball of light with ripples. Like a cannonball, normal attacks Incineroar. Boom. Having just finished using Flamethrower, how could he have the energy to dodge Dragon Rage? So Incineroar was directly hit by Dragon Rage. Charizard landed in front of Xiaozhi and spit out a small mouthful of fire. It means that this rival is not enough to fight at all. Wow, Charizard is so awesome. Roar. Charizard next to Xiaozhi patted his chest proudly, saying that the tiger was trash. Advertisement. I am the best in the world in increasing the fire dragon. Charizard's strength in the video has really improved. I feel he should be able to barely touch Elite's heel. As for Xiaozhi, your current Charizard still needs to be practiced, he is a bit too small. In the picture, your Charizard is very healthy after evolving, even taller than the normal Charizard. Red rubbed his chin and struck Charizard unceremoniously. When Charizard heard this, he suddenly died like an eggplant beaten by frost. His height and size are his eternal pain. The red Charizard was almost a head taller than him. It hurt. It hurt so much. He in the image did not have forced evolution, but here he is due to forced evolution. So the size becomes extremely small. What's more, there's one more thing. Xiaozhi in the image is holding Rainbow Wing. So in the picture, even if he got the root cause of his illness due to being exposed to the rain. Also because Xiaozhi's Rainbow Wing was slowly patched up. And now, it will take some time for him to return to normal size Charizard. It's really Kulushi. In the image, although Incineroar was hit by Dragon Rage, he did not lose his fighting ability. Not only that, as he slowly climbed up and roared. The belt around his waist erupted into flaming hooks. This triggered the fierce contest condition. Now is the time to truly decide the outcome. Charizard, don't be careless. The opponent triggered fierce fire. Although the power has been increased, it also means that he has little physical strength left. As long as we fight smoothly, we will not lose. Roar. Charizard also looked up to the sky and spit up a bunch of gorgeous flames to show his power. Then, the second round begins. Incineroar, use Fire Fang. The fiercely burning flames turned into a pair of huge teeth, condensing in front of Incineroar's head. As Incineroar's mouth opens and closes, the teeth follow his movements. Rue. Then, a strong tiger like a cheetah came out with normal sucker punch. Its swift figure is one level faster than before. Charizard fly up and dodge. Roar. Charizard quickly flapped his wings and dodged the powerful Fire Fang with just a short amount of time. However, before Charizard could find a chance, Cross immediately ordered. Don't let him escape, just drag him down. Rue. After receiving the command, Incineroar jumped 10 meters high. In addition, Charizard happened to be flying at low altitude. So Roaring Tiger just hugged Charizard. His whole body locked Charizard tightly. Love is stronger than gold and is a 7-day lock. It is rumored to be the unique skill of a certain security captain. Xiaozhi didn't expect Roaring Tiger to drag Charizard like this. After all, being able to jump to that height is just like flying. Can Incineroar fly? Who else can't fly? Charizard was pulled and almost crashed. Fortunately, Charizard in the parallel world is strong enough. Even without manned experience. It won't crash due to this level of weight. The wings barely manage to stay high in the sky. Now, use Throat Chop. Rue. Incineroar locked Charizard's throat with one hand, while the other hand turned into a sharp spike. The dark purple energy covered it, and then dug hard into Charizard's heart. Black Tiger takes out his heart. Roar. Being hit directly in the heart by a throat chop from such a close range. Even Charizard feels a little overwhelmed. The pupils of his eyes gradually disappeared, and his figure began to fall. A proud smile formed on Cross's lips. 1. Charizard. Don't lose to him. Your target is the world's mightiest fire Pokémon. How can it fall here? Use Seismic Toss. Xiaozhi used a special bonding technique, rejuvenating Roar. The loud voice reached Charizard's heart. Charizard's dissipated pupils instantly recovered, and his falling body suddenly stopped. Start taking off quickly. Is it coming? Are you going to use that? The move considered a surefire move by the powerful Charizard. Seismic Toss. Charizard spun 3 times in the air, knocking Incineroar unconscious. The 3 limbs he had tightly locked on Charizard also involuntarily loosened their grip. At this moment, Charizard grabbed his arm that was touching his heart with both hands and threw it away fiercely. Seismic Toss. Fling version. Boom. The Roaring Tiger fell like a meteor normally. It smashed a huge hole in the ground. The entire ground on the top of the mountain was cracked inch by inch. The huge aftermath made it impossible for people around to open their eyes. The dust settled, the wind and dust stopped, and the scene slowly appeared in front of everyone. I saw Incineroar standing on the ground with injuries all over his body, breathing Hideki non-stop. He is already a candle in the wind. This last bit of blood is barely locked in. The audience was a little surprised. This was the first time Charizard didn't drop rival instantly on Earth. Advertisement. Whether it's the previously read Charizard's Seismic Toss. It's the same Seismic Toss that I fought against Articuno in the real world. They will instantly kill rival who still has a lot of physical strength. Why was it that even Incineroar, who was restrained by Seismic Toss, was not defeated despite the fierce fire this time? Could it be that Charizard has just evolved and has not yet fully mastered the divine level of Seismic Toss? Cross looked at Charizard soaring in the sky with a nervous expression on his face. If this continues, will he lose? No, he can't lose. If he loses, he will be worse than garbage. He must not lose. He still wants to challenge Ho-Oh. He also wants to become the world's mightiest trainer. Incineroar. Flamethrower. The last desperate flamethrower. The opponent's eruption. The dragon has also taken some moves. If it is hit by the flamethrower under the contest condition, maybe you can win. We use flamethrower too. This time, it's no longer about being impulsive. This time, they must defeat each other head on and openly. Roar. Rue. Both sides sprayed out hot and burning flames at the same time. 2 huge flames collided. There was a stalemate in midair. The terrifying temperature made the whole place seem to be on fire. Normal. Seiko, Soji and others who were watching couldn't help but sweat. As the person closest to the battlefield, Xiaozhi's clothes are almost soaked with sweat now. But he ignored it at all and shouted. Come on, Charizard. Let them see our power. Roar. Charizard, who was encouraged by trainer, felt like he was injected with a shot of cardiotonic. Normal. The flames spitting out from its mouth increased nearly 10 times. A straight pillar of fire turned directly into an extremely huge fireball. Incineroar's flamethrower was suppressed mercilessly. The fireball with a diameter of more than 10 meters hit the Incineroar hard. And there was a huge explosion. The sound of ember exploding was like the world shattering. Normal. The whole place was filled with billowing sand and dust. Soji, Seiko and Master Fan couldn't help but took a few steps back. In the middle of the battlefield, Cross was blown several meters away by the strong wind before he could stop. But Xiaozhi just pressed his hat, his body motionless. Bring the storm to subside and the dust to settle. Charizard fell from the sky with a handsome face and stood in front of Xiaozhi. And Incineroar was already lying on the ground. His whole body was charred. The ground around it is completely shapeless, it was burned away by the terrifying temperature just now. This battle, Charizard wins. You Longdu. I am very happy that Charizard won, but, that flame just now, you call it a flamethrower. Alder. It's really terrifying. The flamethrower just now is probably comparable to Reshiram's fusion flare. Day. The case has been solved. Charizard secretly stole his own memory in the parallel world while fighting against the wave, and obtained the release method of fusion flare from it. He changed the flamethrower to fusion flare. Diantha. After looking at the inventory for so long, your explanation is still outrageous. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. The last flame is indeed a billion points in size, but it is also the crystallization of the bond between Xiaozhi and Charizard. This is Xiaozhi's magical power. Close black lens bracket. Lorelei. How should I describe it? In short, he is a young man who has repeatedly achieved miracles. Close black lens bracket. Professor Oak. Cross is also defeated, and the next step should be the battle against Ho-Oh. Xiaozhi should send Pikachu here. Close black lens bracket. Morty. Xiaozhi's Pikachu is indeed quite powerful, but it is still far behind Ho-Oh. Even Alola's Pikachu from issue 3.7 cannot possibly be Ho-Oh's rival. I'm obsessed with Morty. Naturally, Ho-Oh is highly praised for his strength. What's more, what he said is right. Pikachu has indeed become stronger in this world, but if he wants to compete with Ho-Oh, he is still very far from it. Even Crimson only defeated losing his mind after Charizard Mega evolved. And it was not its heyday, and a lot of Mewtwo was consumed. That's why Chihong said with certainty that Xiaozhi and Pikachu can't win. In fact, it doesn't matter if you can't win, winning is indeed important. But the process of fighting is equally important. Xiaozhi, who has experience playing against Ho-Oh, will definitely grow faster and go further in the future. In the image, after Charizard's victory, Cross knelt on the ground helplessly. Take Incineroar back. Today, he has become what he calls, worse than trash. Because he failed, Xiaozhi looked serious. He took out the Rainbow Wing and slowly walked towards the Rainbow Rock. After defeating Cross, the next one to face is Ho-Oh. However, when Xiaozhi walked up to Cross, Cross roared in a low voice. I've seen Ho-Oh before. Xiaozhi. The world is watching. According to legend, even if Ho-Oh appears, it will only appear in front of the kind-hearted trainer. How could this guy have seen Ho-Oh? It's unreasonable for a person with such a scumbag mentality to see Ho-Oh. It doesn't make sense. Seeing Xiaozhi stop beside him, Cross's expression gradually became ferocious. Although I met Ho-Oh, Ho-Oh didn't give me the Rainbow Wing. Obviously I did everything I needed to do to become the strongest trainer. Why didn't he give me the Rainbow Wing? So I want to defeat Ho-Oh. To prove that I am the strongest trainer. Chapter 122, Pikachu's Marshadow. Hard Steel Soul Stealing 7-star Strike. Advertisement. Cross, who had lost his mind, stood up impulsively. He faced Xiaozhi with a ferocious expression. He didn't understand why he did so many cruel and heartless things in order to become stronger. And Xiaozhi is playing those boring friendship games. But it was Xiaozhi who got the Rainbow Wing. This kind of thing is completely incomprehensible to him with his thinking. Faced with Cross who was hissing, Xiaozhi shouted in turn. Cross, I'm also working hard on the road to becoming stronger. I also want to become stronger. I don't want to lose either. But, I understand during this journey with everyone, that winning is not the only way to become stronger. Xiaozhi looked at Pikachu beside him, and looked at Charizard, Zhongji, and Seiko in the distance. There was a soft look in his eyes. Sadness, failure, parting, laughter, companionship, adventure, these are the reasons why I can become stronger. No matter what, I will not agree with the way you behave as a trainer. And I don't agree with your philosophy. Failure is worse than garbage or something, that's not the case. The so-called failure, it is a stepping stone for you to succeed. Diantha. I burst into tears. No matter which world we are in, Xiaozhi is still the same Xiaozhi. Close black lens bracket. You Longdu. This heartfelt speech should be able to influence Cross, right? Close black lens bracket. Morty. With that guy's level, you still want to beat Ho-Oh. He can't even beat me. After all, Xiaozhi and Pikachu have extremely powerful upper limits, and Xiaozhi is also recognized as a trainer by Ho-Oh. They had a run-in with Ho-Oh, and Morty couldn't say anything. But Cross, who are you? Cross was stunned, as if he was shocked by Xiaozhi's passionate speech. Everything Xiaozhi does, every word and deed, completely negates his code of conduct as a trainer. His heart was greatly shocked. Seeing that Cross seemed to be reflecting, Xiaozhi also relaxed and showed a helpless smile. If you know your mistakes and can correct them, there is no greater good. Even if he is a bad person with incorrect ideas like Cross, Xiaozhi wants to change him. Xiaozhi took the Rainbow Wing and prepared to continue to the Rainbow Rock to put the feather on it. However, the moment Xiaozhi relaxed, Cross suddenly burst out. He snatched the feather from Xiaozhi's hand. Before Xiaozhi could react, he quickly ran towards the rainbow rock. After Xiaozhi was stunned for a while, he quickly chased after him, but the opponent was already climbing up the rainbow rock. Master Fan also looked shocked when he saw this. No, stop him quickly. If this continues, something terrible will happen. Soji and Seiko rushed over with their Pokémon. But it's too late. When Cross was about to put the rainbow wing up with a ferocious look, the brilliant brilliance on the rainbow wing instantly dimmed. No, it's not just dim, it's even beginning to emit the dark light of evil in the country. The rainbow wing, which turned into a black feather, escaped from Cross's hand and floated on the iridescent rock. A dark purple light soared into the sky, reaching straight into the sky. Like lightning, Normal's dark power explodes out of the rainbow wing. Suddenly, the situation changed. The sky was shaken and the earth was shaking. The cyanwood-colored soaring in the sky has become dim. Even the deep blue on Tianqing Mountain has turned into a dark purple. Everyone was confused, and Cross also looked confused. At this time Lord Fan spoke. When Rainbow Wing comes into contact with an evil person, the colorful brilliance will completely fade away. The waves of the evil person will turn Rainbow Wing's power into evil power. Only then did Xiaozhi and others remember that Vatican Tower seemed to have indeed said this to them. You Longdu. Isn't this Rainbow Wing too rubbish? You were directly infected after being touched by someone. What kind of pampering thing? Diantha. This is a bit outrageous. Xiaozhi has been nurturing Rainbow Wing for so long, and the power of justice has been affecting Rainbow Wing. How come it was instantly dispelled by Cross and then blackened? Close black lens bracket. Steven. This feather, couldn't it be smarter and have the ability to recognize its owner? You said that if Xiaozhi's heart turns evil, just dye it black. If someone else touches it, it will turn black. Ah. Cynthia. Marshadow will block everything and correct everything. I always feel like something bad is going to happen. Many champions are complaining, this Rainbow Wing is a pure and unfamiliar white-eyed wolf. Xiaozhi has been carrying it for so long and has been transmitting positive energy. Why does it change like this when someone touches it? Yulongdu. Believe in Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi will solve everything. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Diantha. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket A. Lance looked at Dandy and Diantha's speeches as if he felt that he had done something wrong. Impossible. In the image, after Rainbow Wing was completely polluted, Tianqing Mountain and even the entire soaring in the sky were polluted black. Marshadow appeared quietly from the shadows, with a rage look on his face. Masha. Two big black hands that looked like smoke suddenly stretched out from Marshadow's body. Advertisement. He directly caught Cross on the rainbow rock, and then the wolf threw the doctor away. Lycanroc, who was on the side, saw this and quickly went up to catch Cross. Master Fan looked at Marshadow and muttered something. When Rainbow Wing is contaminated by evil forces, Marshadow will seal everything and correct everything. Cross, who was thrown down, remained stubborn and yelled at Marshadow. In that case, I will defeat you too. Defeat Ho-Oh again. Lycanroc, tear and grab. Ouch. Lycanroc rushed forward with a lunge, but Marshadow held up the Rainbow Wing. A pitch-black evil force surged out from above, passed right through Lycanroc's body. In an instant, Lycanroc stopped. Dark purple eyes looked at Cross. Stared by that fierce look, Cross couldn't help but take 2 steps back. Then Lycanroc exploded instantly. 2 claws composed of red energy grabbed Cross fiercely. Seeing this, Cross quickly rolled away to avoid it. Boom. The ground was torn apart and a big hole was dug. If this blow hits Cross, it will definitely tear him in half. Xiaozhi looked dumbfounded on the sidelines. How is this going? Lord Fan replied. Lycanroc is controlled by Cross. I'm afraid Marshadow wants to use the Pokémon here to destroy us all here in order to correct everything. How come? During the conversation between the two, Lycanroc's offensive did not stop. He opened his mouth wide, and a dark red energy ball burst out, pointing directly at Cross with a sound of breaking through the air. At that speed, Cross couldn't dodge at all. Boom. The orange-red figure stood in front of Cross, completely blocking the dark red energy ball. Why are you? Cross looked at Charizard standing in front of him with shock in his eyes. Why did Charizard, who was abandoned by him, ridiculed by him, and humiliated by him, come to protect him now? Because Charizard has not forgotten your kindness to him as a trainer. My Charizard, that's what he is. Although I am extremely proud, I will never forget the kindness given by others. Pika. Cross looked at Charizard with a shocked expression, an unspeakable light shining in his eyes. Charizard glanced at him, then closed his eyes and turned his head to the other side proudly. I didn't take the initiative to help the guy block the gun, I just moved my body involuntarily. Charizard. Xiaozhi looked at Charizard in the video and thought of the time when Charizard didn't listen to him. He will also stand up when he is in danger. That's right. This is his Charizard. Roar. Charizard roared with satisfaction, showing that he did not embarrass himself in the image. Of course, it should be him in this world who has embarrassed himself in the image. After all, he has never disobeyed instructions in the video. Marshadow raised the feather in his hand, and the dark power passed directly through the Pokémon that had been watching around him. They are Pokémon who originally belonged to Tianqing Mountain. Their purpose is to follow Xiaozhi and meet Ho-Oh together. Let's see if we can get even a little bit of power from Ho-Oh. But now, he was directly used as a weapon by Marshadow. The eyes of many Pokémon that were penetrated by the dark power instantly became aggressive. They looked at Xiaozhi and others with terrifying expressions. Nidoking, Rhyhorn, Pidgeotto. A large number of Pokémon are all controlled by Marshadow. Even if Xiaozhi's Pikachu and Charizard are powerful, they can't withstand so many Pokémon attacking together. After dodging all the way and even reaching the foot of the mountain, Master Fan made a proposal. Xiaozhi, now we have only two choices. One is to leave Tianqing Mountain as soon as possible. It's just that with so many Pokémon beat up, it may not be realistic for us to evacuate safely. The other option is to snatch the Rainbow Wing back from Marshadow. You are the trainer chosen by Ho-Oh. As long as you get the feather back, the Rainbow Wing will surely shine again. Then there won't be any need for Marshadow to fix everything. Yulongdu. There is a saying that I don't know whether to say or not. Dandy. I know, Lance, you want to say, since Xiaozhi can change the outcome by taking back the feather, why doesn't Marshadow know to give the feather to Xiaozhi, so that there is no need to block and destroy everything, right? Close black lens bracket. Yulongdu. Yes, is Marshadow controlled? Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. It's possible, Marshadow's thinking is probably closely related to Rainbow Wing. When Rainbow Wing is colorful, Marshadow is thinking positively, and when Rainbow Wing is dim, Marshadow's thinking will also become dark. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Alder. It is indeed possible. No wonder Marshadow's expression changed after Rainbow Wing became dim. It seems that now only Xiaozhi can snatch Rainbow Wing back to restore Marshadow to normal. Closing square bracket. Steven. Who do you think Xiaozhi will choose? Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Needless to say, it must be the second one. I'm going to get Rainbow Wing back. Not only for our safety, but also to restore Tianqing Mountain. Restore those Pokémon. It's very dangerous. Go even if it's dangerous, right Pikachu? Pikapi. Xiaozhi and Pikachu hit it off and looked at Marshadow on the top of Tianqing Mountain with high spirits. Marshadow was also looking at them expressionlessly at this time. We'll cover you. Xiaozhi nodded and released all the Pokémon including Frog Seed. Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charizard, Pidgeotto, and Xiaozhi are all responsible for covering him. And he will take Pikachu to challenge Marshadow. There is no Bulbasaur or the others in the theatrical version, but since I said that Xiaozhi will still meet his destined Pokémon, they must show their faces here. There are countless Pokémon around Tianqing Mountain, and Xiaozhi also tried his best to get it. We are finally coming to Marshadow. As a result, Cross's Lycanroc stood in front of him as the last hurdle. But Cross finally woke up at this moment and stepped forward. Blocked Lycanroc with his own flesh and blood. Backquote, this guy is my Pokémon. So it's up to me to deal with it. Hurry up and find Marshadow. Quote. Exclamation mark quote. Pickup. Xiaozhi took Pikachu across Lycanroc and finally reached the top of Tianqing Mountain. Magendo. Give me the Rainbow Wing. I will make him shine again. Masha. But of course it's impossible for Marshadow to listen to Xiaozhi's words now. Even a jet black light ejected from the Rainbow Wing. The target was Xiaozhi's Pikachu. The speed of the light was so fast that neither Xiaozhi nor Pikachu could react. Pikachu was directly passed through by the black light. However, nothing happened. For a moment, all three were silent. We live in Bungbu, Xiaozhi's Pikachu will not be affected, ha ha ha. You are very powerful, but my Pikachu is not affected. Ha ha ha. The power to control people's hearts is of no use to Pikachu and Xiaozhi. Even the device that can control the first level God Reshiram can't control Pikachu. The power of a feather like yours, Ho-Oh, is nothing. Looking at Pikachu's unaffected and confused smile. Even in such a serious situation, the audience couldn't help but laugh. This kind of worrying power can be a sure blow to others. But for Xiaozhi and Pikachu, it is simply useless power. No one can shake the bond between Xiaozhi and Pikachu. In image. Masha. Seeing that Ho-Oh's power was not working, Marshadow simply jumped down with a ferocious expression on his face. He wants to deal with Pikachu himself. The battle is about to begin. Marshadow used the Shadow Ball at first, but it was directly deflected by Pikachu's Iron Tail. In the initial battle, Pikachu even briefly pinned Marshadow down. But when dark arrogance burst out from Marshadow, its headdress, wrist ridges, and collar turned into green and yellow flames and burned as they burned. Everything is different. A huge transparent giant formed by Hideki flames covered Marshadow. Then Marshadow waved his short hand continuously. 7 cyanwood-colored energy balls burst out in irregular formations. Pikachu wanted to rely on his flexible body and lightning speed to dodge the 7 attacks. However, what he didn't expect was that no matter how he dodged, he couldn't avoid the energy ball. In the end, he was hit by 7 energy balls in succession, hitting him directly into the sky. Just use Thunderbolt. Incomparably dazzling golden light bursts out from Pikachu. This time Thunderbolt is more powerful than ever before. However, there was no trace of panic on Marshadow's face. He stood up directly, kicked out from the bottom up. The terrifying arrogance covered his body, blocking Thunderbolt forcefully. Not only blocking, but even slowly suppressing Pikachu. Open black lens bracket Professor Kukui. This is soul-stealing 7-star strike, close black lens bracket. Yu Longdu. What is soul-stealing 7-star strike? Is it Marshadow's exclusive skill? Close black lens bracket. Professor Kukui. I've said it before, Marshadow once sneaked into the shadow of a boxing master to copy the opponent's movements, and finally learned the ultimate secret. Professor Kukui. This ultimate secret is the soul-stealing 7-star strike. In our Alola words, it is the exclusive Z move. Close black lens bracket. Professor Kukui. I have seen this move in ancient books, but what I didn't expect is that Matto can release the Z move without a trainer and Z ring. Pikachu is in danger. Chapter 123. Because I want to be with you all the time. The world destroying thunder in despair. Advertisement. Professor Kukui's words shocked the whole world. Through the review of Xiaozhi's battle with Kukui, plus after Alola's explosion. The principles and effects of the Z move have been spread. Therefore, people all over the world know better what the concept of using Z moves is without trainer and Z ring. Even if he is as strong as Tapu, he still needs the power of assist Kukui to use his Z move in the finals. And Marshadow can actually use Z moves on his own. The strength of this Pokémon is really terrifying. Facing such a terrifying Pokémon, can he win? In the image, the short legs wrapped in the majestic air flow slowly shattered the golden spark inch by inch. Even Pikachu, who has unleashed his full potential. Neither is Marshadow's rival after using the Z move. Soul-stealing 7-star strike finally kicked Pikachu hard on the cheek. And there was a huge explosion. Xiaozhi was directly blown away by the aftermath of the explosion. Even Changji and others who were preparing to come to pick up Xiaozhi from a distance were forced by the storm and could not get close. When the dust cleared, Pikachu fell to the ground dying. His whole body was covered with dense scars. He could hardly open his eyes. Even when I was chased by the Spearow group at the beginning of my trip. Pikachu has never been subjected to such a move. Marshadow's body on the side also returned to its normal appearance, half kneeling on the ground with a labored expression. Pikachu's last Thunderbolt was shattered, so Marshadow couldn't escape unscathed. Even the damage he received was not low. But, compared to Pikachu, Marshadow's situation is undoubtedly much better. Xiaozhi saw Pikachu's miserable appearance and quickly ran over and hugged him. After seeing that Pikachu's life was not in danger, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. However, before he could finish breathing, a huge sense of crisis came from behind. Xiaozhi turned around and looked at 520. They saw a group of Pokémon controlled by evil forces walking towards them step by step. Marshadow itself has lost a lot of combat power, but there are still many controlled Pokémon around it. Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Electabuzz. These are all Pokémon that have finally evolved or become powerful. It seems that Pikachu's strength is respected by Marshadow. But this kind of respect is a big crisis for Xiaozhi now. Yu Longdu. Where is Ho-Oh? Come out and save me. Diantha. Now that it's time, Ho-Oh should be coming out, right? After all, Xiaozhi is the trainer that Ho-Oh likes. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. It should be coming, right? Otherwise, I can't think of how Xiaozhi should deal with this situation. Close black lens bracket. Everyone was blocked by Pidgeot and Golbat's top-notch Pokémon. So do the rest of Xiaozhi's Pokémon. Now Xiaozhi is completely helpless. There is no way to survive. Even Pikachu, the only fighting power and last hope, is already dying. Apart from the arrival of Ho-Oh, there is probably no other way to save Xiaozhi. Yes, although the elite champions are a little worried about Xiaozhi's situation. But more people still believe that nothing will happen to Xiaozhi this time. After all, he is the hero of the rainbow. He is even the protagonist of this review. Nothing will happen to him, right? In the image, Xiaozhi hugged the dying Pikachu and kept running in the other direction. But within a short while, we had reached a dead end. There is a cliff in front and an abyss below. Xiaozhi has no way out. Roar. One of the Pokémon that came from beat up, Nidoking roared loudly, spitting hot flames from its mouth. The flame turned into a pillar of fire and blasted directly towards Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi is now also affected by constant traveling and continuous fighting. There is not much strength left. Against this slow flamethrower, he had no chance to get out of the way. I could only turn around instinctively, leaving my back to the flames, and hold Pikachu firmly in my arms. In this most critical moment, Xiaozhi's first thought was still to protect Pikachu. Boom! A huge explosion sounded, and Xiaozhi and Pikachu were separated. Being directly hit by flamethrower, Xiaozhi's body was covered with burns caused by the fire element. If you were to be a normal person, it would be over and you would lose your life. But Xiaozhi is still strong. This is the physique of Mega's real rookie. Pikachu was knocked to the side, Xiaozhi struggled to crawl towards Pikachu, and Pikachu also struggled to crawl towards him. This scene shocked the hearts of viewers around the world. What kind of bond is there that allows them to always think of each other even when their lives are in danger? Ho-Oh, come on. All the viewers are praying for the arrival of Ho-Oh. When Xiaozhi crawls in front of Pikachu, he took out the never-used Pokeball with the lightning symbol from his belt. Pikachu, come in quickly. Pikachu looked stunned. I know you don't like going into the Pokeball, but you might be able to be saved if you go in. Then, Xiaozhi struggled to support his scarred body. After stumbling, he was facing the Pokémon who were about to attack. Advertisement. Turn your hat behind you and shout. Who do you think I am? I'm Xiaozhi from Pallet Town. The person who wants to become the world's best Pokémon master. How could I lose to you? This moment is exactly like that moment. On the first day of departure, Xiaozhi made this world-shaking speech when his life was in danger. Now he has become stronger than on the first day he set out. Correspondingly, the crisis becomes even more huge. But his declarations and actions have never changed. When Pikachu encountered a life-and-death crisis, he still opened his hands and stood in front of the scarred Pikachu. If you want to attack Pikachu, you have to step over his body. Zzzz. Energy Ball, Destruction Death Ray, Flash Cannon, Flamethrower. Powerful skills burst out from the controlled Pokémon one after another. At this moment, Pikachu wanted to recreate the scene where thunder and lightning shook the flock of birds. He splashed behind Xiaozhi, and stepped on Xiaozhi's shoulders to block Xiaozhi's front. However, there is no thunder from heaven and earth at this time help. Pikachu was injured even more seriously than before, so this time, he did not release the lightning that could save Xiaozhi. Instead, after jumping out, the last bit of strength in the body was used up, and it began to fall feebly. Xiaozhi's eyes widened. Unprecedented strength burst out from nowhere in his body and he hugged Pikachu tightly in an instant. Boom! A huge roar rose into the sky. A terrifying force that was 10 times more powerful than before exploded on the edge of the cliff. Xiaozhi was knocked directly to the side of the Pokeball. Even so, Pikachu stayed in his arms without any harm. Kalo's region Vanaville town. Xiaozhi, don't let anything happen to you, Xiaozhi. Serena looked at Xiaozhi's miserable appearance, with deep worry in her eyes. Sinnoh region Twinleaf town. Xiaozhi, you have always completed counterattacks when everyone was not optimistic about it. This time, it must be no problem. Dawn muttered, dumb tape, but couldn't hide the worry in her eyes. Xiaozhi's appearance now is even more miserable than ever before. Regardless of whether Xiaozhi is okay or not, the way he looks now is really heartbreaking. Petalburg City, Land of Dragons. After seeing Xiaozhi's appearance, all the people who cared about Xiaozhi, my heart couldn't help but tighten. In addition to feeling sorry for Xiaozhi, they were also wondering, why didn't Ho-Oh come? If this continues, even Mega and Rookie will not be able to withstand it. Professor Oak backyard. Xiaozhi, your physique is stronger than I thought. Qihong looked at Xiaozhi in the image and couldn't help but sigh. Among the humans in his world, his physique is already considered outstanding. When fighting against Mewtwo, he was pinned down by Charizard and even knocked away by Charizard, but he was unharmed. As a result, his peers in this world are even more heavyweight. The combination of those skills just now, let alone a human being. Even half of the elite Pokémon would have died without any resistance. But now Xiaozhi is still alive. This physique is indeed worthy of the word monster. It's okay. I think my body is a little stronger than normal people. Xiaozhi patted the few muscles on his arms. Normally, he would definitely be playful and smiling now. But now, he can't laugh. Others are worried about what happened to him, but he is worried about what happened to Pikachu. In the parallel world, please, protect Pikachu. In the image, Xiaozhi weakly released Pikachu. He was now more seriously injured than ever before. If you don't get treatment, I'm afraid I won't be able to survive for long if you just leave it alone. He forced his eyelids up and spoke tremblingly. Pikachu, why don't you go in the Pokeball? In this desperate moment, Pikachu showed a happy smile. Because I want to be with you all the time. Yulongdu. Wowsow. Pikachu has spoken. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Diantha. Pikachu can also talk. Close black lens bracket. Dandy. What's the principle? I couldn't stand Sister Lee anymore when Meowth spoke before, so why did Pikachu speak too? Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Isn't the important thing. Pikachu said that he wants to be with Xiaozhi forever. The bond between them is really a bond that is unmatched by anyone in the world. Close black lens bracket. Dionji. Even in this desperate time, they are thinking about each other. This is love. No wonder Xiaozhi has no feelings for Stephanie. It turns out that all his feelings are placed on Pikachu. Close black lens bracket. Alder. It seems to make sense, but the question now is, why hasn't Ho-Oh come yet? If not, it will really be the end of Chitaro. Close black lens bracket. Hurry, hurry. King Gigi is not as anxious as they are. It's a moment like this, why hasn't Ho-Oh come yet? Everyone's hearts have been raised. Advertisement. Xiaozhi's eyes widened in vain. Pikachu spoke. And he said, I want to be with him forever. At this time, behind Xiaozhi, huge skills started to pile up again. The momentum this time was even more terrifying than before. Xiaozhi used his last strength to get Pikachu's Pokeball in his hand. Then he forcefully took Pikachu in. Then hug the Pokeball tightly in your arms. At the same time, all Pokemon's moves exploded in front of everyone. Boom. Like a nuclear bomb, Normal's momentum erupted on the top of Tianqing Mountain. Tianqing Mountain shook crazily. The aftermath of the explosion spread thousands of meters away. Landslide, fissure, tsunami rolling. Dazzling and terrifying shock waves soar into the sky. The whole world seemed to be shaken by this attack. This Ho-Oh is about to come, right? Except for high-level legendaries, there are probably not many Pokemon that can handle this move. However, Ho-Oh didn't come. Pikachu's Pokeball fell and slowly rolled out. Xiaozhi's frillish hat fell from the sky and covered it. At this time Soji and others arrived late. After they saw the scene above, their pupils widened and their bodies trembled, as if all their strength had been drained from Normal. Click. Pikachu was forced out of the Pokeball, and Xiaozhi's hat happened to be on Pikachu's head. Finally, I slid down helplessly. TOS. Right in front of Pikachu. But now Xiaozhi has become almost as transparent as Normal. His eyes have been completely closed. The body seems to have turned into particles, Normal, and is drifting away in the wind. Pikachu exchanged disbelief, then picked up the hat on the ground and walked over slowly. When Pikachu wants to put the hat on Xiaozhi's head again, Xiaozhi completely disappeared. The hat also fell directly to the ground. The rainbow wing in Marshadow's hand also turned into fly ash and quietly dissipated. Xiaozhi. Dead. How can it be? Lance looked at Xiaozhi's death and was speechless for a moment. Not just Lance, but everyone in the world, after seeing Xiaozhi die. Their pupils widened, their hands clenched, and their hearts suddenly tightened. The barrage list at this time was surprisingly quiet, because everyone was so shocked that they couldn't even post the barrage. Cynthia is currently in a hotel in Galar. Tomorrow is the final between her and Dan D. However, before the finals, she saw such a scene. 53. She has a lot of affection for Xiaozhi. Brave, strong, funny, loves Pokemon and everything in the world. He will risk his life for others, and he will never give up no matter what time. Although they have only known each other for a short time, Xiaozhi is already considered a good friend to Cynthia. And now, her friend is gone. Xiaozhi, you won't fall down by 1.5 here, right? Stand up like before. Cynthia murmured to herself with expectation and disbelief. Xiaozhi. Everyone in Professor Oak's laboratory couldn't help shouting. Misty's heart felt as if someone had squeezed it hard, and tears were about to flow from her eyes. And Delia's eyes had already shed 2 lines of tears. That was her son. Her son died in front of her. How can I accept this as a mother? Even if it's just a parallel world. Gary also stared wide-eyed, unable to accept that his great rival and best friend just left like that. How is that possible? He doesn't believe it. The dazzling golden thunder spread thousands of miles and shot straight into the sky. The tyrannical thunder directly swept away all the darkness around. Pikachu. Doubta's tears kept flowing out, and he kept shouting, but no one responded to him anymore. Use despair as thunder to sweep away the darkness in the world. A world without Xiaozhi. I don't need it. This power. Even if a high-level legend comes, he will probably be killed instantly. All the darkness between heaven and earth was swept away. The darkness disappeared, but Xiaozhi can't come back. Xiaozhi's death was too shocking to them. Lily shook her head wildly in disbelief, and the tears in her eyes were shed. Shui Lian and others were speechless at this time. It's impossible. Xiaozhi must be fine. He was the first Alola champion who defeated Tapuwu. You destroyed my only world. I will destroy your only world. In the image, the whole world was illuminated by this terrifying thunder. Xiaozhi is gone. It's all their fault. It's all them. That Xiaozhi. How could he fall down like that? After seeing Xiaozhi disappear completely, Pikachu slowly picked up Xiaozhi's hat. Chapter 124. Flash Firo. A day of fighting. Advertisement. Pikachu, desperate, shatters the darkness with thunder. Even though everyone was immersed in sadness at this time, they were still shocked by Pikachu's terrifying thunder. Even Qihong was shocked. He silently glanced at the electric mouse next to Xiaozhi. I silently compared the difference between Pikachu and Charizard. Forget it, it can't be compared. His cheating Charizard is not as good as this cheating electric mouse. This is comparable to a world-destroying Thunderbolt, which can even kill Mewtwo from Cerulean Cave in seconds. Even the current Mewtwo may not be able to stop it. If Mega says so, there may be some opportunities. Are you using me as a unit of measure? Don't make trouble, the atmosphere is quite solemn now. I am actually dead in the parallel world. This joke is not funny. You can't die, that boy has the power of life. Oh, you can smell it even through the screen. Single quote question mark. Do you believe it or not? I will twist your head off. I do not believe. Quote. After communicating with Mewtwo, Shihong's mood calmed down a lot. Since Mewtwo said he couldn't die, he couldn't die. Now Mewtwo is not only the strongest being in his team. He is also the being with the highest vision, and only he can detect those higher energies. It seems. It's not that Ho-Oh didn't take action, but that he had already taken action. Everything Xiaozhi is going through now is probably still a trial of the Rainbow Hero. It's this trial. It's a bit too big. Many champions' elite's mouth twitches. This despairing volt is more powerful than 10 million volt thunderbolt. 100,000 lives can't be saved. Is this the true strength that Xiaozhi Pikachu possesses? It's really terrifying. What? Zapdos, Raikou, these gods of thunder, are not worthy of the title of God of Thunder in front of Pikachu. Even Zekrom may not be able to defeat Xiaozhi's Pikachu in Thunder and Lightning. The title God of Thunder should be given to Jippy. After seeing Xiaozhi's death, evil organizations from all over the world. Although I feel a little sorry for Xiaozhi, I am more grateful. Glad Xiaozhi is dead. Many people have discovered a pattern. Although the trajectory of Xiaozhi in the parallel world 03 is similar to the current one. But actually they all have some similarities. For example, meeting Charmander, such as meeting other Pokémon. Therefore, if Xiaozhi in the video dies, Xiaozhi in the real world will probably also encounter such a disaster. Now Xiaozhi is a thorn in the heart of all evil organizations. Unless he dies, he will have trouble sleeping and eating. In the image, after Pikachu exploded with huge thunder and lightning, the hat in his hand was still intact. Just now, Pikachu's lightning had only dispelled all the negative power caused by Rainbow Wing. It is not aimed at the Pokémon around it, otherwise, one by one, they will all die here. However, all the surrounding Pokémon, including ground-type Pokémon, were directly stunned. Even Marshadow sat down on the ground in fear. Losing the influence of the dark Rainbow Wing, Marshadow also regained his timid character. Even if the world-destroying Thunderbolt just now was not aimed at him, it still frightened him greatly. Pikachu continued to cry softly after dispelling the darkness. The darkness has been driven away from the world and light has been restored. But the light in his heart can never come back. The image changed, and the dead Xiaozhi suddenly appeared on the cliff of Tianqing Mountain again. However, before everyone could cheer, they discovered that everything around Xiaozhi, including Xiaozhi himself, was colorless. Could this be the underworld? Xiaozhi looked confused in this colorless world. He didn't know what his situation was. Didn't he die just now? He can still recall the pain that tore his body and mind. So what's going on now? The real world in images. Pikachu, who was holding his hat, suddenly felt something. He stopped crying. He looked up and looked at the place where Xiaozhi died just now. He seemed to feel Xiaozhi's presence. Pikachu, who has been with Xiaozhi day and night, will never forget this feeling. Pikapi. Colorless world. Xiaozhi raised his head suddenly, and he felt. Pikachu was calling him. The bond between the two parties has transcended the constraints of space. Even though yin and yang are separated at this moment, Pikachu's cry can still reach Xiaozhi's heart. Pikachu. Xiaozhi shouted to Pikachu and started running. And here, little stars began to gather in front of Pikachu. Everyone's eyes began to show surprise. Could it be that Xiaozhi is not dead yet? As Xiaozhi keeps running in the colorless world, grasslands, flowers, mountains, rivers, oceans. I ran all the way. Colors reappear bit by bit in the world where Xiaozhi lives. Advertisement. And slowly, there began to be a yellow figure running with him beside him. After an unknown amount of time, the yellow figure finally solidified. Pikachu appeared next to Xiaozhi again. And led Xiaozhi out of the colorless world. Image reality. The light in front of Pikachu is getting brighter and brighter. Pikapi. I feel it. The breath of the closest person. Pikachu splashed excitedly and jumped directly into the starlight. Starlight takes shape, Xiaozhi reappears in everyone's sight. He is resurrected. Yulongdu. I was scared to death. I really thought Xiaozhi was gone. Diantha. If Xiaozhi is gone, you can come directly to see me. Close black lens bracket. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. To be fair, he prefers that he is better at reverse prediction than poisonous milk. I almost lost Xiaozhi's prediction just now. Dandy. I originally thought that Ho-Oh would come forward to save Xiaozhi, but in the end Ho-Oh didn't show up. Is the legendary god of life so cruel? Close black lens bracket. Kai Hong. No, he has already taken action. Close black lens bracket. Cynthia. Shihong, are you saying that the reason Xiaozhi was able to be resurrected was because of the power of Ho-Oh? Close black lens bracket. Red. In addition to Ho-Oh, there is also the bond between him and Pikachu. Without Pikachu to guide him, Xiaozhi will exist in that world for the rest of his life. Close black lens bracket. The power of fetters connects the two worlds. That's why Xiaozhi can come back. Otherwise, even with Ho-Oh's life energy, Xiaozhi would not be able to be resurrected so smoothly. Resurrection is a law that defies heaven and changes destiny. Dandy. In this case, I was wrong to blame Ho-Oh. After Kai Hong pointed out that Xiaozhi had the power of Ho-Oh in his body, Emperor Dan instantly understood the reason. I'm afraid that even now, it's all a test given to Xiaozhi by Ho-Oh. It's too difficult to get the title of Hero of the Rainbow. Xiaozhi really died once. After watching Xiaozhi's resurrection, everyone around the world who cared about Xiaozhi finally breathed a sigh of relief. They all forgot at that moment that this was the Rainbow Hero's inventory. Letting the protagonist die is too much. What kind of knife plot? All around the world, Mei leaned against the wall weakly, almost fainting from fear just now. Serena sat slumped on the sofa, her fingernails almost piercing her flesh just now. Dawn took the soaked handkerchief to clean it. She was so scared that she could squeeze half a small basin out of the cold sweat. Lily, Alice, even Misty's tense body beside Xiaozhi relaxed instantly and her whole body became soft. It's so scary. In the image, after Xiaozhi recovered, he smiled brightly at everyone. I'm back everyone. Under everyone's worried words, Xiaozhi touched his head in embarrassment. Suddenly, he felt something in his palm. Normal. When he opened his palm, a feather exuding brilliant colors appeared on his palm. Rainbow wing. Reunited. When the rainbow flower blooms on the rainbow rock, Ho-Oh will appear. Boy, go and become the rainbow hero. Master Fan said to Xiaozhi with a smile. Now there are no obstacles anymore. Xiaozhi can finally play against Ho-Oh. Cross watched from a distance as Xiaozhi worked hard to climb up the rainbow rock with a smile on his face. Go Xiaozhi. You are the world's #1 Pokémon trainer. No, you are the Pokémon master. As for me, I have to pay for the sins I have committed. Cross was finally moved by Xiaozhi and Charizard, and decided to change his mind and start a new life. The first thing to do is not to become stronger, but to travel to various parts of the world. Rescue those abandoned Pokémon. The mistakes he made cannot be settled with just an apology. Therefore, he must use practical actions to repay the sins he has committed. Xiaozhi successfully climbed to the top of the rainbow rock and placed the rainbow wing on the red flower. In an instant, the rainbow wing glowed with colorful lights. A gorgeous rainbow bends out from the red flower. Refracted to the sky who knows how far away. Bah! The thundering phoenix cry sounded. Flash Firo with colorful lights. No, it's Ho-Oh, flying from the end of the rainbow. This is not the first time for the audience in front of the video to see Ho-Oh. But back then, just like Xiaozhi, Governor Jinghong flew away and disappeared. And now, they can get a good look at Ho-Oh. He is really mighty and domineering. He is so arrogant. He is worthy of the legendary Flash. Well, he is worthy of the legendary Ho-Oh. In the Zhu Yuan gym in Zhu Yuan City, Morty looked at the appearance of Ho-Oh with emotion. They, the Bell Tower family, have been hoping that Ho-Oh can forgive humanity and come back to Bell Tower. However, no one of his generation has seen Ho-Oh. But, now he has seen it. And Ho-Oh has begun to communicate with humans. Advertisement. The most addictive games. No one under 18. No one under 18. No one under 18. Although it is a parallel world, there is also Xiaozhi in this world. So, in this world, it is not impossible for Ho-Oh to forgive humans. All hope lies in the hero of the rainbow, Xiaozhi. In the image, after seeing Ho-Oh arrive, Fangyuan was also very excited. After all, he regards Ho-Oh as his whole life. After Ho-Oh came over, there was also a shimmering powder. When the powder touches everyone, all the injuries suffered by Pokémon on everyone. It disappeared instantly. Ho-Oh healed our injuries instantly. This is the power of Ho-Oh. Born with the power of the god of fate, even Xiaozhi can be resurrected and heal their minor injuries. Of course there is no problem. After everyone was healed, Ho-Oh stood on the iridescent rock as independent as a golden rooster. Xiaozhi rushed forward and said excitedly, Ho-Oh, let's fight. Ho-Oh looked at Xiaozhi meaningfully, and then nodded. It was originally just a test for this boy, but in the end, the Pikachu almost demolished Tianqing Mountain. What kind of Pikachu is this? Let me test it out. Ho-Oh's voice appeared on the big screen, and for a moment, the whole world burst into laughter. Ha ha ha, I can't stop laughing. It was originally a test, but I didn't expect it to almost tear the house apart. Even Ho-Oh didn't expect Pikachu to have such great power. This is the true strength of the world's #1 Pikachu. It turns out that Brother Xiaozhi's death is really a test for Ho-Oh. This test is too harsh. Ho-Oh, everything is under control. After Pikachu's world-destroying lightning burst. Ho-Oh, there is a wall hanging. End the test. What a talent upstairs. Ha ha ha. Discussions on the Tiandao stocktaking forum were in full swing, with almost everyone laughing at Ho-Oh's inner activities. And just marvel at Pikachu's terrifying potential. A power that can make Ho-Oh admire it, and even be a little scared. Xiaozhi's Pikachu is indeed not a mortal thing. Meow. Even that Ho-Oh thinks Pikachu is powerful. This shows that our goal is not wrong. Meow. Nonsense. How could Queen Jessie's vision be wrong? Hurry up and make a plan to catch Pikachu. But, there is a big ghost head next to the little ghost head. Big ghost head equals red. You're so scared. We even caught his Pikachu. 650 are all extraordinary breeds of Pikachu anyway. Jessie is really a newborn cow. No, old cows are not afraid of tigers. She has no fear at all towards Kai Hong. Just do it and that's it. Professor Oak's laboratory backyard. After seeing Ho-Oh's inner activities, Chi Hong couldn't help but nodded in admiration. He has the same idea as Ho-Oh. This Pikachu is definitely not a normal species. He even wondered if Arceus was reincarnated, called Arceus. As a high-level legend, it is natural to be afraid of the reincarnation of the creator god, right? In the image, after getting Ho-Oh's response, Xiaozhi looked excited and waved his hand. It's up to you, Pikachu. Pick up. After Xiaozhi was resurrected, Pikachu also felt full of strength. It seems much stronger than before. Now even the legendary High God wants to pull him down. Pikachu, Thunderbolt, pick up. Golden electric light filled Pikachu's body. Then it turned into zigzag light and shot out. The powerful Thunderbolt hit Ho-Oh. However, Ho-Oh shook it away with just a slight shock. This Thunderbolt move is already comparable to the last Thunderbolt, used against Marshadow just now. However, it has almost no effect on Ho-Oh. You know, Ho-Oh is a flying type and fire type Pokémon. Even if it is a mythical beast, it must follow attribute restraint. If it doesn't work, it means the strength gap between the two sides is really too big. But now, there is no audience who is not optimistic about Xiaozhi and Pikachu. Because just a few minutes ago, Pikachu just showed them what the coming of the Thunder God means. If Pikachu can still use that power again. What Ho-Oh? Firo. Ho-Oh opens its sharp beak and spits out colorful hot flames. Its power is so powerful that it can even completely evaporate the moisture in the air. Just by being close, Xiaozhi could feel his body breaking out in sweat. This terrifying high temperature and gorgeous flames are the exclusive skills of Ho-Oh and Entei, Sacred Fire. This is a powerful flame that can be used to fight enemies as well as heal. Pikachu jumped and dodged behind the stone. The stone of Tianqing Mountain blocked all the flames. Tianqing Mountain is where Ho-Oh settled. Almost all the stones on this mountain are resistant to high temperatures. That's why we can resist the sacred flame. After the sacred flame was dodged, Ho-Oh continued to spit out flames. But this time the flame is just a normal red flame, an ordinary flamethrower. In response, Xiaozhi chose to let Pikachu use Thunderbolt to deal with it. The second Thunderbolt, the power has increased a little again. The power of the fighting man is fully stimulated. Pikachu's power is constantly rising. The camera zooms out, and on Tianqing Mountain, red light and golden light alternately flash. The flickering light lasted for a whole day. Chapter 125. Inventory of Rewards, Skill, Despair Volt. Holy Flame. Advertisement. The time in the image is fast-forwarded. So, the video is fast-forwarding directly to the end of the battle between Pikachu and Ho-Oh. The time changed directly from morning to evening. Only then did the flickering light representing the battle disappear. This also proves that the two sides fought for a whole day. You Pikachu, it's illegal. Forget about having unparalleled combat power. Why is your staying power so strong? Are you tired of the beating? Ho-Oh will give you a mouthful of milk and continue the beating. Moreover, the final result of the battle was not released for the audience to watch. Only at the end of the video, Xiaozhi carried Pikachu to the Pokémon Center. Although Pikachu was scarred, his expression looked happy. It must have been an intense battle. Nurse Joy hugged the scarred Pikachu and smiled. It looks like we had a good battle. Who is rival? It's Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh, Nurse Joy repeated, and after a few seconds she looked stunned, showing a confused expression. She suspected that she had heard wrongly. Ho-Oh, Ho-Oh, Ho-Oh. Is it the legendary Ho-Oh? Facing Nurse Joy's confused eyes, Xiaozhi just smiled brightly. At the end of the story, Xiaozhi, Zongqi, and Chengji came to a fork in the road. After they made an agreement to fight together next time they met, they each headed in the direction they wanted to go. Super large inventory. Hero of the Rainbow ends here. The next inventory will be at the same time tomorrow, so stay tuned. Close black lens bracket. Dash. Inventory preview. New series inventory, the story of Xiaozhi and legendary Pokémon. The rewards for this inventory will be distributed to Xiaozhi later, please be prepared to check. Close black lens bracket. After a series of words came out, the screen slowly disappeared from the sight of everyone in the world. This is the end of this super large inventory. Xiaozhi obviously has more stories to follow. The badge was not finished, the elite was not played, and the champion was not awarded. However, the subsequent story obviously has nothing to do with the hero of the Rainbow chapter, and maybe a new chapter. This made many viewers feel itchy. They discovered a very important thing, that is, the inventory of Tiandao, they must have learned from the fragmented dog. It breaks at the most important place every time, certainly not me.jpg. One day, with the knife in hand, I will slaughter all the broken dogs in the world. Not only that, the new series released in this Tiandao inventory, Xiaozhi's friendship with legendary Pokémon is also very attractive. Tiandao inventory has launched multiple series so far. The first one is the series of gods with mortal bodies. The second one is a special inventory. The third one is how to develop bonds. The fourth one is the super large inventory just now. 847. The last one is a review of the upcoming story between Xiaozhi and legendary Pokémon. No matter which inventory is included, it has attracted a large number of fans. And in every inventory, there is Xiaozhi. Even if Xiaozhi is not here, there is still Xiaozhi in the parallel world. Everyone is used to it. Many people are already looking forward to tomorrow's new series review. There are many people in the world who have a good relationship with Xiaozhi, either in the inventory or in real life. I have already started going to the drugstore to prepare Su Xiao Juxin pills. Today's inventory almost made them remember Xiaozhi's death in one breath. You must prepare some heart-saving pills. Especially Delia, the Juxin pill can no longer save her, so Pikachu must be ready for cardiac pacing at any time. The moment she saw Xiaozhi die, Delia almost fainted. Fortunately, his biological son was nearby, otherwise she would definitely not be able to tell the difference between reality and images. Professor Oak's laboratory backyard. Xiaozhi, did you hear that? Don't do those dangerous things again. But Mom, I saved those Pokémon, and I became the hero of the rainbow. You should be proud of me. Mom is proud of you. But Mom is more worried about you. Rather than being a brave person, rather than saving others, Mom only cares about your comfort. Without you, I wouldn't be a mom. Quote. Xiaozhi was silent. He had no way to directly promise Delia not to take risks again. When traveling and meeting unfair people, unfair things happen. With his character, how could he? But, what Mother said is not wrong. He is the only son she has. What should Delia do if something happens to him? Just when Xiaozhi was in a dilemma, an ethereal voice sounded from the sky. The rewards have been settled and the rewards have been given to Xiaozhi from Pallet Town. Please check and receive them. Reward content. Volt of Despair, Rainbow Wing, Xiaozhi version, which promotes Charizard to completely absorb the Rainbow Wing and learn the Holy Flame. Volt of Despair. When Xiaozhi is in danger, dies, or is on the verge of death, Pikachu will unleash a killing blow. The targeted cannot resist it except Arceus. After using Volt of Despair, Pikachu's strength will be greatly improved. Rainbow Wing, Xiaozhi version, Xiaozhi's exclusive prop Rainbow Wing, normal exists in his body. As long as the damage is not fatal, it can be slowly recovered. If Xiaozhi dies, the Rainbow Wing will be consumed and he will be resurrected. Everyone in the world, many villains, champion elite. Advertisement. Crimson. Everyone has heard the sound of this reward. There is no cover for the Heavenly Way inventory. So, everyone in the world is silent. Despair Volt is the super attack that Pikachu unleashed in the inventory video. That blow, if Pikachu hadn't only targeted that evil force. I am afraid that the entire Tianqing Mountain and even the entire Kanto will be destroyed. In the current world, Xiaozhi's Pikachu has also learned this trick. In other words, who dares to attack Xiaozhi in the future? Then be prepared to die together. Here's the problem. This second reward directly leads to death together, turning it into a unilateral death. Xiaozhi's exclusive Rainbow Wing directly gives Xiaozhi a second life. No matter who attacks Xiaozhi, let's not talk about whether he can pass the red test. After what was said, after killing Xiaozhi, others can still be resurrected. And during this period, Pikachu's Despair Volt was triggered. Haha, except for the god of creation, who dares to touch Xiaozhi. Even advanced legends such as Rayquaza and the three dragons of the path will be promoted directly to you. The little bit of missing that all the villains had is now completely gone. How to play this? There is no way to play. Unless they arrest the god of creation. From now on, they will just have to keep their tail between their legs. A ray of light fell from the sky, covering Xiaozhi inside, along with Charizard and Pikachu beside him. After a moment, the light dissipated, but Pikachu and Xiaozhi did not change much. And Charizard has grown a head taller. The Charizard at this time is even higher than the normal Charizard. This is the effect of absorbing Rainbow Wing and making up for the foundation. Charizard's eyes were full of excitement, and he looked up to the sky and spit out a brilliant colorful flame. Ho-Oh and Entei's exclusive skill, Holy Flame. Now this skill can be learned by a third Pokémon, Charizard. Great Charizard. You learned a new skill. Xiaozhi felt happy looking at the colorful flames. Charizard not only made up for his foundation, but also learned new skills. Will he be even more powerful in tomorrow's game? Then he straightened his hat and proudly said to Delia. Mom, look, it's okay this way. I have a Rainbow Wing on me now. Even if I die, I will be resurrected. Bah. Why die? Can you speak? Delia is quite happy that Xiaozhi got Rainbow Wing. In this way, at least Xiaozhi's life safety is guaranteed. But she doesn't like Xiaozhi always saying that he will die. Now, no one dares to touch Xiaozhi. Xiaozhi is now equivalent to a normal bomb, and this bomb won't hurt himself. Whoever dares to touch Xiaozhi must be prepared to die. Coupled with Xiaozhi's own Mega Rookie physique and Rainbow Wings recovery. It can be said that as long as you are not directly attacked by a Pokémon with level 2 or above, you will not die, and you don't know how to die. Brother Chihong, let's fight again. Roar. Charizard also looked at Qihong with high spirits. With his strength greatly increased, he wants to pass away the red Charizard again. A smile appeared on the corner of Hong Hong's mouth, her strength expanded a little. You who haven't reached the elite level, it's not time to expand yet. Go to the wild. If you fight in the backyard, it will easily burn the flowers and plants. Okay. The excited Xiaozhi and the ambitious Charizard took the lead and rushed out. How exciting it is to have one person and one dragon now, but how miserable it will be later. On training Xiaozhi, Qihong doesn't know what releasing water is. In addition, the outside world is now discussing the ADFG variety of Pikachu. What? You said Pikachu is an electric mouse. No, what kind of electric mouse can emit such thunder and lightning? Even Zapdos can't compare, and with that last thunder and lightning, even the ground-type Pokémon were directly numbed. This is a ground-type Pokémon that has its feet on the ground. It's equivalent to Pikachu electrocuting the entire Tianqing mountain. Zekrom's ability Mega Voltage can't do this, right? The name of the god of thunder and lightning is well deserved. Domalanchi is already making a statue of Pikachu. That broken statue of Zapdos, quickly replace it. The god of thunder, only Xiaozhi's Pikachu is worthy of it. Not only Pikachu, Xiaozhi's Charizard also showed great strength after evolving. When playing against Ho-Oh, Xiaozhi obviously hadn't gotten 8 badges yet. It can be said that after getting 8 badges, Xiaozhi's strength should be no worse than when Qihong first got 8 badges. These two are worthy of being in the same position, both are the same perverts. No one doubts that Xiaozhi's talent is inferior to that of Kai Hong. There are even rumors in the outside world that Xiaozhi's talent is stronger than that of Qihong. The strong point is none other than Pikachu. You know, Xiaozhi's Pikachu has the concept of reconstruction. Theoretically, as long as Xiaozhi takes enough journeys, Pikachu's talent will be infinite. Advertisement. So, there is no need to say more about who is stronger and weaker when the unlimited leather god faces Kai spray. But, I don't know when Pikachu will reach its peak. At least now, Qihong is still hanging Xiaozhi up and beating him. That night, Xiaozhi learned what the price of expansion is. With his strength greatly increased, Charizard confidently fought against Shisho, but he was still beaten without the ability to fight back. The gap in strength is real. It's too big. Now the red spray is the norm and can even compete with the mega spray on the inventory. Even if Jufen uses the newly acquired sacred flame that exceeds the level of power, there is no way to harm Shifen at all. This is only natural. After all, according to the level specifications, the red spray is a Ho-Oh level 1 existence. If you want to use Ho-Oh's moves to impress Kai General, it's almost as good as Ho-Oh himself. Holy Flame is indeed a very powerful move, but your Charizard can only be used twice at most in a battle, and is used as a key skill. Quote. Otherwise, your Charizard will be exhausted before rival falls. What Spiral Shuriken.jpg? In terms of attack power, if an elite level Pokemon were to eat your Holy Flame, it would probably be seriously injured. This is the basis for your fight beyond the level. But, don't rely on this thing. What you have to do is to let Charizard convert the sacred flame into your own flame. If you blindly rely on the sacred flame, Charizard can reach up to at the same level as Ho-Oh, it is basically impossible to surpass Ho-Oh. Quote. If others heard Qihong's words, they would definitely be confused. How many dishes are there? Drinking like this, can you still surpass Ho-Oh? Normal people, let alone Ho-Oh, can't beat Moltres. But it was Qihong who spoke, and it was Xiaozhi who spoke these words. Naturally, Xiaozhi believes in Qihong unconditionally. I understand, Brother Red, Charizard, do you hear me? Don't rely too much on that flame. Roar, are you teaching me how to do things? Who would have to rely on that broken flame if I didn't meet a strong enemy? Haha, come on, my Lapras has life due. I'll help you regain your strength and continue practicing to be strong tomorrow, right? Let me see what level you are in the top 16. Xiaozhi. Zhong. Charizard. Zhong. Why don't you look at what time it is now? It's almost 10 o'clock in the evening. Children need to go to bed early. Moreover, you have just abused me twice, and you still want to use life due to restore your health and continue to abuse me. Be a human being. Mega Battle Mad Xiaozhi and competitive Mad Charizard finally met rival. This time they met a fighting man who fought even more crazily, Red. This made Xiaozhi and Charizard not want to fight anymore for the first time in their lives. Qihong ignored their embarrassed faces and released Lapras expressionlessly. If you look carefully, you can see that there is a smile on the red face. In fact, when fighting Xiaozhi, even though Xiaozhi was weak, but he can awaken his red, long-lost fighting passion. Even the blood started to boil. This is the feeling he often brought to others as a fighter before. However, when he was alone and seeking defeat, when he was fighting, no one except Qinglu could give him this feeling. As for Qinglu, he also has his own things to do, so we can't always fight him. This is one of the reasons why he became autistic at MT. Silver. But today he finally found someone who can make him fight with excitement. And there is no way to refuse him. How can the word, Shuang, be so great? I must have a good fight today. So, one night passed. The next day, Xiaozhi had dark circles under his eyes. Because of the 8 Masters competition finals, the competition to determine the strongest trainer in the world started this morning. So Xiaozhi still has to watch the game no matter how sleepy he is. Watching live broadcast is different from watching recorded broadcast. Dandy is indeed much stronger than Cynthia in terms of strength. But in terms of tactics, Cynthia is even better than Alchemy Emperor. When 2 Pokémon were defeated in the early stage, Cynthia used the Ghost Potted Plant to reverse the situation, and exchanged 2 Pokémon with Dandy while using Destiny Bond. And on Togekiss, he used Tailwind tactics to defeat Alchemy Emperor's second general, the King Kong Ape. Then faced with the thousand-faced evasion of Emperor Dan, Cynthia took the rotation with Melodic and fought a protracted battle with the opponent. Finally both fell to the ground. Then Duolong faced off against Togekiss, but was perfectly restrained by Togekiss and defeated again. Today, Cynthia still has 2 Pokémon left, of which Togekiss has residual health and trump card Earth Dragon has full health. Instead, Dan Emperor only has 1 trump card Charizard left. Garchomp has attribute convenience compared to Charizard. Double fire resistance. Now, Dan Emperor is forced into a desperate situation. However, Emperor Dan did not panic at all, but smiled confidently. After releasing Charizard, he directly took back Charizard. The huge wristband on his wrist releases brilliant light. Now is championship time. Charizard, Gigantamax. With only the last Charizard left, Dandy finally revealed his final trump card. Charizard's Gigantamax.